Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello, and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Yay indeed, Jimmy. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much for joining us again on another insane, crazy, death-defying, gravity-denying edition of Crime and Sports. Denying gravity.
Is this Evel Knievel?
It's going to float above the air, Jimmy, and hover. It's going to hover and look over things like a drone.
Okay.
But like a drone with with weaponry on it.
Okay.
Like
lasers and shit.
Yeah, lasers, like a space drone.
Oh.
Like a Star Wars drone of some kind. That's
made in China.
That's this episode of Crime and Sports. It's a whirring, flying, laser shooting edition.
Okay.
So you're gonna enjoy that. We're back into the brain damage sports this week. So that's always fun. We have an insane MMA fighter, and does it get better than that?
Never.
And next week we have a wrestler. So
terrific.
Good Lord, we're headed for a stretch of golden time here. This is beautiful, shooting out like a laser across the sky. Thank you guys.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Thank you guys so much for your iTunes reviews, the purple icon there, Apple Podcasts, whatever the hell it is. Those reviews, for some reason, iTunes and their funky algorithm, that they help drive us up the charts. So thank you so much for doing that. Those of you who have done that. Those of you who haven't done that, please get on there. Give us a review. Give us 5 stars. It doesn't matter what you say. Tell us you're following instructions, following directions, whatever it may be. Doesn't matter. Do that. Helps us out a lot on the business end. Go to shutupandgivememurder.com for all of your Crime and Sports merchandise. And there's always new t-shirts and new stuff going up. And we have skateboards now.
Unbelievable.
Which is so cool. I can't wait to get I ordered one. I was like, I'm getting a Crime and Sports skateboard. That's cool as shit. So,
I will get my kid one.
I used to skate, so I'm like, this is neat. I can put it down on the carpet and fuck around with it. So
just the deck, no
just
wheels.
The deck. Yeah, no, I'm not going to kill myself. I haven't skated in a long time, decades. So I'm not going to start.
Your joints get stiff riding.
Yeah, I'm not gonna fall and break my something horrible. I don't know, and just show make myself feel even older than I am. That's not going to be good. So go on there. All sorts of new stuff on there. Also check out live shows for Small Town Murder and Crime and Sports. It'll be coming up this year. We'll be popping those in the calendar as they come up, and don't worry, we'll let you know about them, of course. Also, if you want to be a hero of ours, one of our best friends who we just want to hug all the time. We hug them through the airwaves here. One of our producers.
That was the most awkward hug. All the time.
All the time. We just want to hug them. We want to pit them down against their will and hug them. That's how it works.
Tickle the shit out of you guys.
But you can be one of this group very easily by going to Crime and Sports. Got wrong address. Patreon.com/Crime and Sports.
There you go.
Wow. Or head over to PayPal and use our email address, which is crimeandsports@gmail.com. And you can get to both of those through shutupandgivememurder.com. So very, very convenient. That being said, let's get into this craziness.
Yes, let's do it.
We got some crazy shit this week. Let's get into this. Let's get into it with Brandon Curtis Salling.
Huh.
You ever heard of this guy?
No.
Brandon Salling?
S-A-L-I-N-G?
S-A-L, Salling without the I, without the first I.
Never heard of him.
No, he's a middling MMA fighter, but the story is pretty goddamn amazing because he slipped through the cracks. And, they thought he was a good guy, and he's not.
No.
So we'll talk about that. Not at all. When did this craziness start? In 1986, he's born. So he's a young guy. Yeah, he's a young guy. He's already destroyed his life at an excessively young age. So good job. Good for you, buddy. Nice work.
He's just over 30 years old.
Good work.
Unbelievable.
His life is fucked. irreparably fucked at this point. Just completely destroyed.
Those are two good words together.
Irreparably fucked? Yeah, they are pretty good. They do work well together.
That is a description that you can't bat it out. You just go, I get it.
I get it. I understand that. That and degenerate gambler is also, that's the other one that's like the most descriptive term ever. Whenever anyone sees a fucking degenerate gambler, you're like, I see it.
I know him.
I see it. His head's
guy.
down, but he's still hopeful somehow. I see that guy down on his luck.
He just needs a double or nothing, and he's fine.
He's going to keep trying either way, whether it's fine or not.
We know a guy like that. Oh boy, oh boy.
Oh man,
degenerate gambler.
Yeah, that gambling that gets a hold of you. Like I've seen if someone's like a degenerate gambler, they are just as bad as a heroin addict.
Yeah.
It's the same disease. I mean, you see it. They have the same drive toward it. This is destroying my life, but I'll do it anyway. That's the same. I have to. It's a need.
In comedy, that guy is the guy that gets a gig booked and asks for the money in advance.
Yes. Yes. If you hire a comedian and they ask for the money the days before the show, they have A, drug problem, B, gambling problem. Most of the time it's drugs with comedians. Let's be realistic. But
you can tell the gambler because when they show up, they're stone sober.
They're stone sober. They're clean. They've been fed, but they're also need some money.
Yeah. They're in a bad way.
They're in a bad way. Stuff's not going well. Well, this is Brandon Salling, and his nickname, because every MMA fighter has to have a stupid nickname, and this says a lot, is Brandon White Steel Salling.
Okay.
So
he's a white guy.
Nope. He's from Nigeria.
He's as black
he calls
as
himself White Steel.
That would be amazing.
It's just a bad translation is the thing. It was in another language, and that's what it was, and he doesn't understand, so he's new to this country. When he learns English, he's going to be very upset that they've been calling him White Steel all these years.
I want a Wesley Snipes looking motherfucker named White Steel.
No. This guy is a redheaded.
Really?
He looks like Dotzik.
No.
He looks like not late life Dotzik. Mm-hmm. Like Dotzik when he fought, they look very similar.
Really?
Like redheaded, except he keeps his hair like short and in a goofy mohawk. It's like a short, like a crew cut, redheaded mohawk. He looks
like the Chuck Liddell mohawk.
He looks like a jackass.
Yeah.
And
it's a dumb mohawk.
It's a dumb mohawk. Especially
it's a lazy one.
On this guy, it looks god awful. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mr. T left a little above the ears. Yeah. You know what I mean? Give a little something there.
Give it a fucking effort. If you're gonna have a mohawk, grow some hair and then shave.
Do that.
You don't have some stubble and shave it down the middle. That's easily taken off.
And if you're gonna have a little short one, make it like Road Warrior Animal.
Yeah,
like that.
Yeah,
you know
fucking commit.
That look fucking badass. You know what I mean? Or like Hawk and shave yourself into male pattern baldness, which was the strangest look for a wrestler. Yeah. What a strange thing to decide to do. I'm going to make my hair male pattern baldness and shave it. Like, why? Why would you do that to yourself?
I mean, people do that to their kids as punishment nowadays, but as a choice, as a haircut, that's bananas.
Later on, the Warlord did the same thing. Shaved himself into male pattern baldness. You're like, what are you doing, sir?
That is not complimentary.
It doesn't make sense.
No.
I don't get it. He's born January 28th, 1986. He's from Cumberland, Ohio.
Okay.
And pretty much everything he does and all of his fuck-ups and triumphs and tragedies are all in Ohio.
Okay.
He is Mr. Ohio. He's 5'10", 170 when he's grown and fighting. So he's, I think, a welterweight, that is, in the middle of the UFC.
Pretty big dude.
Yeah, he's a decent-sized, kind of littler guy here.
Yeah. I don't mean big... Believe me, that's not a big dude.
No,
I'm not afraid of him by any stretch.
But
if 170 fighter that's a big dude.
Yeah, no.
That's all muscle.
Knows how to fight. Yeah, I mean, a guy knows how to fight. 170 can be used, as we've seen before. I remember years ago in Phoenix, they showed that video of Michael Carbajal beating that guy up at the gas station.
Yeah.
Michael Carbajal weighs like 108 pounds.
Right.
He was literally, I think, 110-pound champion of the world boxing.
Unbelievable.
And he
so fast.
beat the shit out of a bunch of guys at a gas station. And I mean, it was impressive to watch a tiny man just pummel a group of people with no fucking competition whatsoever.
That's got to still be on YouTube, right?
I'm sure. They had no idea. The guys were like, Jesus Christ. It looked like when someone's getting swarmed by bees and they just kind of go in a circle with their hands in the air, go, wee. That's what they were kind of doing. Like, what the fuck? Getting hit from every direction by this little motherfucker. And he was like drunk at 3 a.m, just with cowboy boots on. He had like the pointy-toed Mexican cowboy boots on because he was dressed like in full ranchero gear.
Right.
He had like
going out on the
belt buckle
night.
And it was like De La Hoya fight night or something. Like he was going out on the town, except he's a boxer. That's a Southwest joke. Anyone in L.A., San Diego, Phoenix, Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, Albuquerque. You know, whenever Oscar De La Hoya had a fight years ago, the streets, the bars were flooded with seriously committed cowboy-looking Mexican dudes with the button-down shirt.
Ostrich skin. The boots with the dots all over them?
With the dots and the metal tips on them and the big belt buckle and jeans that they cannot fucking walk in because they're so goddamn tight. And it's De La Hoya night. They are not messing around. So his younger life here, I don't know much about his younger life.
No.
This is not a guy who was a big star, so there's not a lot of stories about, how did you grow up? He was never like a guy who was like he came from here to here to where it would be like an interesting media story.
No mystique.
No mystique to it. He's just this dude who's there. So I mean, he didn't. So there's not a lot. Nobody did like these fluff piece MMA fighters. They love to do boxers, MMA fighters. They love to do these pieces, expose on how
coming up.
They came from nothing, or they came from this, or their parents are really nice, and his parents are both professors, and he wants to punch people in the face. Like, how weird is that? Shit like that. So this is a little bit different. But by 2004. He's already in legal trouble.
Really?
So that is at age 17. He's already in legal trouble here. In 2004, he is arrested in Ohio. This is just teenage shit here. Underage consumption.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, he's boozing.
I could have gotten that, too.
A million times.
Yeah.
So you're I didn't even drink. I had weed on me all the time, which was worse than, now it doesn't matter. But
do they consider that consumption, too, as an underage minor? You know what I mean? Or
they just be possession of weed. There's no law about being high.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Which is the thing. Like, there's no laws about intaking drugs. So you're not even allowed to have them in the first place. So
I mean, there's an under the influence, but...
Exactly. But, there's no,
only if you're driving.
Exactly. Yeah, that's more of a operating machinery type of thing. But here, it's underage consumption. I mean, it could have been a party that got raided and they wrote everybody tickets. Who gives a shit? That's... I know a person who went to Harvard that got an underage ticket. Not even kidding.
Yeah.
Had an underage consumption ticket before she went off to Harvard there. She also used to buy mushrooms from people. So it's like, how do you do, she buy weed off me and shit. Yeah. How do you do mushrooms and weed and drink? And
it's those kids that do the most, by the way.
And
those kids are bananas.
Harvard. She was like amazing in sport. I'm like, how do you do that? What the fuck is going on? I never understood it. I couldn't do it.
That's a different wiring than I've got.
I like to look at it this way.
Yeah.
I'm more focused. That's what it is. See, she can just have her brain be doing all these different things. I'm so laser focused that there's no way that I could lend myself out to all these different things. So really, I'm better.
All you're doing is skipping the sport. You're still burying yourself in books with weed.
It's fine. Yeah, she's, I feel like I feel like a better person, honestly, because I can focus on one thing. She's got her brain all over the place. Yeah. Academics, sports. Come on, Jesus Christ. Doing good in school, hanging out with her family. I mean, give me a fucking break. Jesus Christ!
You bury yourself in books and documentaries and weed. You're just a different focus. Where she's like focusing on like being a good person and appearing to be a good person. You could give a fuck.
See what happens.
But you're taking information that's useful in this. Where she's reading fucking books on whatever law. Who gives a shit?
Something that I'm not interested in. Well, law. We could use some of those books, or at least
dentistry. Who gives a shit?
There you go. Nobody wants to. Who cares?
Fuck your dentistry.
What do you want to be, a podiatrist? Fuck off. Get the hell out of here with that shit.
You're learning the prescription of eyeglasses? Fuck out of here.
Get your ophthalmologist ass out of my face. So this guy, though, underage consumption. Nobody gives a shit. No. He ends up being found guilty, which I'm sure was some plea or whatever the hell it was. And I would assume that this is one of those, 6 months of not probation, but 6 months of suspended, what the hell is it called? Suspended prosecution, where if you don't get in trouble, they dismiss the charges. That's usually what they do with people at this rate, at that point. Now, first, before we talk about anything about him, we need to talk about his tattoos. They are problematic, to say the least. I hate the word problematic, and we've gone over problematic before when I'm like, you fuck, you're problematic. I would even say his tattoos, I would label them problematic.
Okay.
You know what I mean when it comes to this shit. Well, first of all, he has white steel across his stomach, which, in addition to being stupid, it's a shitty looking tattoo. It's not colored in. It's just outlines of white steel, and the letters don't even look that cool.
Jesus.
And it's
in like blocks?
And it's in, but it's not, it's in the Thug Life pattern. White steel like Thug Life, like Tupac over the belly like that. But it's like, it looks like a prison tat. It looks like someone who's not that good at it or is just starting. He went to like a barber college. Looked like he went to like a tattoo college, and they were like, free tattoo if you let this guy do it. And he's like, fuck it, why not? He's done 3 or 4 so far. They haven't been. Nobody's complained. Shrugging the shoulders. I don't know.
Infection scars are gonna look great.
I don't know. He's learning how to clean those needles. So yeah, he's got that on his stomach, and that's probably the least bad of his issue here. And
that's up to interpretation too. Yeah. That's not so awful. You just be like, yeah, it's a nickname.
That's the thing. And you could almost say it's like funny. Yeah. You could almost say he's got a sense of humor.
Right. Ironic.
If he didn't have an 88 on his collarbone with SS bolts around.
No.
Yeah,
you can't do that.
You can't do that.
That's not even problematic. That's just straight up racist.
That's what I'm saying. When you mix white steel, white steel alone could be anything. Because I know, people call Jason Williams white chocolate and shit as a joke. It's just that could be funny, whatever, stupid, ironic, like you were saying. But when you mix it with the 88s and the SS bolts, at that point, it's a problem. At that point, you're a fucking Nazi. Sorry, bro.
He's got those, and he's an MMA fighter. Does he realize that the shirt has to come off?
Well, that's the thing. He's got these, and I don't know if everybody knows that, like, about Nazi shit. But
that's a good point.
Yeah. If you have Netflix, I don't know how you wouldn't fucking know about Nazi shit, because literally everything on Netflix is about it's either a pregnant lady doing stand-up comedy or it's a fucking Hitler show.
Yeah.
The only 2 things out there are pregnant women and Nazis. I swear to God. If you just only had Netflix, you'd go, oh, everyone's pregnant or a Nazi. Interesting. That's pretty wild. One thing on Netflix right now is called Hitler, a Career.
What
is he, Dan Rather? What the fuck are we talking about? Hitler, a career?
We're documenting his career path?
His career? What?
Did he speak at Career Day? What is that?
His career is career?
Criminal. War criminal. That's what he...
Once you start a Holocaust, that's not a career anymore.
No.
You've gone past the point of career. Yeah. John Gotti didn't have a career either, I would say. Once you authorize murders of dozen people, it's not really a career anymore, whether you make money or not. So, yeah, a career. That's what I mean. So, it's weird. Oh, he also has, we should explain the 88.
Yeah. 88 is, the 8th letter of the alphabet is H, and HH together stands for Heil Hitler.
It's their thing.
It's a very common thing.
It's their main thing.
Yeah, it's their big one.
It's their big one. Yeah, that's their
8 together equals racist as fuck.
That's their smiley face that somebody else would have.
You know what that is? That's getting a swastika undercover.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
For most people that don't know.
You're literally not allowed to have in European countries. You're not allowed to have swastikas. Right. You can't do that.
It's a banned fucking design.
Here, you can be an asshole and have a swastika tattoo. Hopefully, you'll take your shirt off around a couple of fucking black guys and they'll beat the shit out of you. But you can have a fucking swastika tattoo.
Or you're Marilyn Manson and you put it on a fucking on a baseball cap and wear it on stage.
Yeah, which is a statement of art.
It's a weird.
That's artistic. I can't. He's doing an art thing. I don't. That's fine. That's a different thing.
He's doing it to say fuck the Nazis.
Yeah, art is different. Right. Art is exempt from all of this shit, by the way, because at that point it's not what they're going for. Right. It's not a statement. So, but this is a different. There's nothing artistic about about shitty jail looking fucking Nazi tattoos.
Right. And the 88 could stand for my brother was born in 88. But
that's
then,
the thing. But then
when you put
to make sure he puts SS bolts around it, just so you know that I'm a Nazi. Right. I wasn't just born in 88 because he was born in 86.
Right.
You can look at him and go, maybe he was born in 88. Right. Nope, not at all.
And then to avoid confusion, here are lightning bolts.
Just to make sure. Also, he has a terrible, barely legible, never scared across his chest, like a top of his chest.
Like a Pep Boys tattoo for the back of your 72 Chevy.
No, it looks like the font of a Chinese restaurant on a takeout menu. Like that silly font. That's what it looks like. That's exactly what it looks like. You get in your tour, and it's like a goofy fonted, fucking, whatever the hell, I don't know.
Never scared of Mongolian beef.
Yeah, never scared of beef and broccoli. Never scared of orange chicken.
Right.
So he's never scared of sweet and sour pork, and that's a plus. We're happy with that.
Okay. Spring
rolls will not keep this man down. And I'm going to say something that might be unpopular here. Well, you know what? I don't know how we'd have any UFC fans that like us anymore anyway, because we have, even though like Jimmie used to like UFC and stuff, but we make fun of UFC, like kind of the culture a lot, because it's a weird culture.
It really is.
And you guys, if you like UFC, dude, it's a weird fucking culture. I'm sorry. You might be into it or whatever, that's fine, but it's a weird culture. Right. It's just strange. A lot of sports have strange cultures around them. You should be around like gymnastics, and just as weird. Yeah. Just as 12-year-old girls doing gymnastics, just as strange a culture as MMA. Yeah. But why is this Nazi thing a big thing in UFC? And it is. Don't fucking deny that it is. Not you. I mean,
it certainly is.
It's bigger than most sports, because I get like in the NBA, you're not going to see fucking 88 tattoos because it's mostly a minority fucking populated league, and you're not going to be very popular.
Same with baseball.
You're going to get some hard fouls. We'll put it that way. You know what I mean? But like hockey doesn't have this issue.
That's a good point.
You don't see
littered.
It's white as fuck. The PGA Tour is whiter than freshly fallen snow, and we don't see people running around the fucking links with swastikas tattooed on their forearms. Yet. Why a UFC?
Is it the aggression? The aggression?
I mean,
it has to be, because they consider themselves supreme.
I guess.
And you're proving it in this fucking ring.
I don't know. I don't understand what that, like, I get like, okay, the boxing, or I'm not boxing, golf would be, most of the people that are involved in golf come from kind of a different class.
It's a
class thing.
Yeah.
So most of those guys aren't tattoo wearing Nazis. just in terms of, even if they are Nazis, I'm not saying, money precludes you from being a Nazi.
They just tend to hide it better.
But they tend to not put 88 tattoos in visible places, is
under
what I'm getting
eye.
at. Shit like that. Yeah. So like, I don't understand this though. Why that it's attractive in this, because like in boxing, it's, you don't see that.
No.
And I understand in boxing there's less white guys too, but
that's a good point.
I don't get it. MMA is a whiter sport.
Yeah.
It seems to be.
It sure is.
I mean, there's a lot of minorities in MMA, don't get me wrong, but
there's a lot of South American fellas too.
Oh, absolutely. There's people from other countries involved, but I'm talking about
the crazier part with this, that like you tattoo that on your chest, knowing
weird.
that you are going to go up against somebody that's not of your race eventually.
I mean, probably not Jewish.
Shirt on.
Probably not Jewish in MMA. Let's be real. I'm just kidding. Jewish people can fight MMA all they want. Just doesn't seem to be a popular choice for that particular religion, is all I'm getting at. There's not a lot of, in this corner, Abe Abramowitz. Right. He's like waving to the crowd. His mother's in the front row. How you doing?
Hi, Ira.
You can do it, Abe. That doesn't happen often. More likely, it's some guy who, is more likely like the Jared Wyatts and the Easts.
Yep.
Kind of trailer trashy.
How does that happen?
I don't know. It's a weird.
It's a high population of guys that we've covered for sure.
And we're looking for like the we're looking for like, obviously this would need like a study of, whatever on a university level that we are not capable of. But just anecdotally, I don't understand why there's so many, like this seems to be so prevalent. And when we used to do like that shitty open mic back in the day before the podcast, we hosted this terrible open mic at this terrible bar, which was just awful and disgusting and smelled like piss throughout the entire thing. They used to stage MMA events like in the parking lot there, and those guys were all fucking Nazis. All of them.
They all looked like it.
All of them were fucking, they all had those tattoos. They were all fucking Nazis. It was like, we're going to have a dozen Nazis fighting in the parking lot if you want. It wasn't an MMA event. It was like a Nazi throwdown. It was super weird.
Maybe the crowd was just there to watch the, hopefully, the last of the Nazis get obliterated.
Maybe. I don't fucking understand. But I don't get the whole supremacist thing anyway. And I don't mean white supremacists.
Any of it.
Who has pride at all in anything? What is wrong with
None of us
pride in what?
Right.
What do you have pride in?
Your bloodline? You're all something else.
You're all pieces of shit. Let me be the first to tell you that. Let me be the first person in entertainment to actually tell his whole audience you're all terrible, awful pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Every last one of you, including myself and Jimmie.
Thank you.
We're all terrible.
It's true.
Nobody's good.
There's no reason to be so goddamn proud of yourself.
Especially for some you can't help.
Right.
And I get to take your circumstances and make them a prideful thing that you're proud that you came from and whatever. That's fine. Yeah. I understand that.
The mafia built a whole business on it.
Calm it the fuck down. Everybody, white, black, fucking Italian, men, women, gay, straight, trans. All of you, whoever you are, whatever group you classify yourself in, you know at least 10 members of your group that are complete pieces of shit. You do.
It's true.
You know it.
You would be furious if they were the leader and representative of that group.
That's what I mean. We're all terrible. Yeah. Just don't have any pride. And then we can all judge everybody on their actions at that point. If nobody has any pride in anything.
Good point.
Fuck.
Just make us all one cloth and then we just kick out the threads that suck.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
You know when you got like a blanket or a towel that has like a couple of loopholes that are like, you take scissors and you cut that shit out.
Yeah.
And you get rid of the piece of shit. And
that's
then all of a sudden your cloth is great again.
And not to mention you should be the hardest on yourselves.
Yeah.
Who do I make fun of the most?
Yeah.
Guineas from New York. What am I? A fucking guinea from New York. There's a reason for that. God damn it, because I want us to be better.
Yeah.
So that everybody try to be better. Don't sit there with pride. Pride means you're not going to try to get better.
Right.
Why should I improve? I'm great.
I'm perfect.
I'm supreme, as a matter of fact. No.
It's right in my title.
You're all fucking stupid. Everybody is stupid.
I'm hardest on the white trash because that's what I am.
Because you know it.
Yeah.
I can't be hard on another group that I didn't grow up intricately in because I don't know every little thing. I know what makes these guineas tick, and they're fucking jackasses, and I can make fun of them for it.
It took me forever to realize how much white trash I am until I sat down at a bar and ordered a beer, and they were like, "Would you like a cold glass?" And I'm like, "It came in one. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm not going to take it out of the bottle."
That's just logic.
It's already in a cold glass.
That's fucking funny. So. That's awesome. So this guy, though, he's very proud, apparently, of his heritage and
that's too bad.
Everything else. I know, it's too bad. It's too bad. Especially, he's not the most handsome man. Really? You'd think he'd be like, what am I proud of? Look at me. I look terrible. My genetics are awful. It has nothing to do with my race or anybody else's race. My parents shouldn't have fucked, period. Should have stayed away from each other.
He's red? I mean, like that alone, he should have just been like, I'm at least second tier.
Eyes a little too close together. He's one of these guys. So, February 2nd, 2007. So he's 21 now. Just turned 4 days after his birthday or a week after his birthday. He is found guilty in traffic court of going 59 and a 35.
That's too fast.
So cop was doing him a favor there, though, on the knock it down to civil from the exactly. Instead of taking him to fucking jail, he instead of saying 60, he went, we'll do 59 and go home with yourself there. So somebody did him a favor, kept it from being reckless driving. As we'll find out through the rest of the episode, this man deserves zero favors whatsoever. So whoever that cop was, you fucked up, buddy. Made a big mistake. So now he starts fighting. General fights here. He starts his amateur career to begin with, obviously here. In his amateur career, he fights. It's a weird thing here. He fights a couple amateur fights, and then he's right into the UFC. Right into UFC, wow. Not into UFC, but into the pro the pro game
the
here.
Things with nicknames.
Exactly. Now he fights first a guy. He fights on August 9th, 2008 at Hard Knocks Cage Fights 3.
Shit, yeah.
So HKCF 3 is what they called it, and I had to look up what that meant. Just Hard Knocks Cage Fights 3.
Horrible.
This is in St. Clairsville, Ohio. So it's a local thing here. He fights a guy named Roger Kupfer, who is a 0-0. It's his first pro fight, but this guy was 2-2 as an amateur and had lost his last fight.
What's a Kupfer? To protect your dick.
To protect your dick, buddy. Pop.
He says it all the time. You know he does.
You know they do. Yeah, Mr. Kupfer, to protect your dick. So, but Brandon wins this fight in round 2, 2 minutes and 55 seconds with a TKO with punches. So he's 1-0. He beats up some mediocre amateur. So good for you. Good for you, guy. June 18th, 2010. This is at First Strike Combat. That's the name of the event. Just first strike combat. Okay. No sub name. They usually have these sub nicknames for this. I'm a little disappointed. I expect more out of you, first strike combat. Jesus Christ. Nazi throwdown 3 or some shit.
That's a very hardline word for sucker punch.
Yeah. Yeah. First strike.
First strike combat. That's just, dude wasn't paying attention.
Not looking.
Right.
Caught sleeping. Caught slipping, motherfucker. Jesus Christ. This is in Columbus, Ohio.
All right.
Taking it to the big city.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. He fights John Felty, whose nickname is JP.
Yep.
Which, maybe his middle name is P. I sure fucking hope so.
Peter Paul JP.
Otherwise, he just messed up. Yeah. He's been hit in the head already too many times.
I thought that Felty was PH. Is that what?
Yeah, he's like, maybe they spelt it wrong when I was a kid. So he's got a little problem in the old noggin. He's 5-2 as an amateur, this guy, and 4-5 as a pro. So he's a mediocre guy that you want to fight when you're just starting, kind of. This fight, kind of the same result here. He TKO with punches. This is in the first round, though, at 2 minutes and 22 seconds, bringing Brandon to 2-0.
Brandon's a striker.
He's a striker. Yeah, he's a good stand-up fighter. Decent, not good, I would say, but he's a decent stand-up fighter. But when anybody gets him down on the ground, it's a mess. He doesn't know how to ground grapple very well at all, and he's not even that great of a striker. If I'm being honest with you, watching him, it wasn't all that impressed, like with his punching ability. Yeah, I mean, then again, he's fighting shitty fighters too. For low-level MMA fighter, maybe he's got a good punch, but I don't know. I've seen guys in bars punch better than that, to be honest with you, if I'm being realistic.
Really? So, I mean, the UFC is just built on sloppy fighting. The whole thing's, you rarely see a guy that's very fundamentally sound in terms of, they're focused on one thing or another. That's it.
Boxing's like hitting a baseball. Yeah. If you don't do it every day, all day, and have your timing and everything perfect, any little tweak in something fucks it all up. Right. So you have to keep doing it. So unless you have that kind of commitment to boxing, you're not going to be a boxing level striker. It's just not going to happen.
There's not going to be a thing.
Let's look at Conor McGregor, Floyd Mayweather for an example. You can't get near a guy like Floyd Mayweather if you're not a professional boxer. You can't get to his legs ever because he just hit you too many times.
Sometimes when I want to feel better about myself, I will watch that and just be like, look, see, know your role. Just
that's what I mean.
Know where your place is in life.
Yeah,
and stop trying to be better than everybody else.
Obviously,
you're not.
Yes, obviously, if it was a wrestling match, would have been a much different outcome. Jesus Christ, I'm sure it would have been a slaughter. That's the point. This guy, though, is a stand-up fighter who's not that skilled at being. It seems like in MMA, you almost, and I know nothing that much about it, but it seems like you'd be better off being a ground fighter because.
Well, it rarely ends with just two dudes standing up punching. It's very rare that those fights just stick with that. It always gets to a point where somebody's better than the other at boxing, and he's going to take the other guy's going to take it to the ground.
First really good punch seems to win the fight, though. That's the thing that gets me. They can grapple around, but if someone hits someone clean in the jaw, that's usually the end of the fight. Whether for a matter of whether he's knocked out or then the guy jumps on top of him and fucking ends it. So it's like one or the other. It's a clean punch is still the greatest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Like
it really is.
If you've ever seen in real life someone just land a clean punch, you're like, doesn't get better than that right there, boy.
Tell you what, that guy's not getting back up.
Fist on cheek is really the way to go. I'm telling you. That's old school. I like it.
It really seems like this fight's over.
Yeah.
That's a done one.
It's one of those things. But yeah, but these guys that can wrestle, though, a guy who's just a half-ass striker, they tie these guys up in fucking knots because they know what they're doing. Right. It's there seems to be a real like an art to grappling.
It's really something else.
It really is like that. There's just so much technique to it and everything. It's not just like a sloppy, front face lock, whatever. There's a lot of technique and a lot of shit like that. So I do respect
every movement on the ground is strategic. Whether it's like whether it looks like he's got his dick out or whatever it is.
Yeah, they're just trying to do something. Strategic. He's trying to bait him into here, and so he does this, and maybe I can get him. Yep. And it's one of those things. Yeah, and it's the same thing in boxing. You see a guy doing little feints, and why are they just doing it? Well, they're trying to. When he's feigning jabs, he's getting that guy to look at his hand, and so now maybe he can sneak something on the other side. It's
Trying to get him to flinch and drop that other shoulder.
Yeah, or not even that. You're just getting him used to you putting your hand out too. Is another thing you do. If you feign a lot, then guys start not, and then when you're not feigning and you're jabbing, they might have a second because they think you're feigning. So it keeps them from being reactionary to your jab. My stepmother's father was a boxing trainer, and so I remember hearing him say that while he watched a fight. We watched a Tyson fight, and he told me about that.
That would be the greatest.
All the undercard shit.
I'd love to sit with somebody that really knows. Like, I think I know a lot about boxing, but I'd really like to hear somebody that, like Teddy Atlas, sit with that fucking guy.
Yeah. Somebody who's one of the top level.
Pause, and then telling me something, and then hit play again, and then 3 seconds later, pause.
This guy was like he's an old Guinea boxing trainer guy. He had a gym in the yard, and he had, his last fighter was a guy named Zuri Lawrence. You can look him up. He's a heavyweight. He actually has a record for like the most wins without scoring a knockout.
Really?
It's a weird record. Yeah. It's for a heavyweight. Because he was a heavyweight fighter. Very strange. That was the last guy he had. He was a pretty active guy, but and even he just knew so much about it. They just, if you watched a fight with him, he wasn't even trying to tell you. He'd just be talking while he was watching it. This fucking guy, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, oh, okay. Yeah. As a little kid, I took it all in. Shit's interesting.
That's fascinating.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
Everyone out there should listen to Small Town Murder. You really should, mainly because you never know who's next door. And that's the point of this show, really. You never know who is next door. You never know what's going to happen on Small Town Murder. That's what makes it so wonderful. The only thing you do know is that people are going to die, and we're probably going to make jokes about it. That's it. That's all we can promise you. We dig into these towns. We see what makes them tick, from local legends to scandals they may have had. And, of course, the biggest scandals of all, horrible murders that take place there. And we put our, what I feel is a completely appropriate comedic spin on the whole thing. And you know you need a laugh right now. So get in there, listen to Small Town Murder. Follow Small Town Murder on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Small Town Murder early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
And now back to the show.
September 4th, 2010. This is the first amateur MMA festival, but this isn't an amateur fight. So I don't.
It's a festival?
Yeah, I don't understand.
Stay in a motel together? What the fuck is this?
It's like some kind of terrible South by Southwest knockoff. Everybody drives there and stays in a bad hotel like we did. Jesus,
I can't believe we did that.
That was a terrible thing.
We drove 30 hours round trip.
30 hours round trip to share a bed in a terrible motel because that's all we could afford.
And then perform for free.
And then get back in the car and drive back through the desert. The godforsaken desert. That was.
Fuck, what were we doing?
What were we thinking there? I don't have any idea what we were thinking there.
Never again.
Never again.
No.
That was 2 years ago. Yeah. Not happening ever again.
No.
You can fucking pay us for that shit now.
I'll quit or kill myself before I do that.
I'm not doing that drive ever again. No. Sorry. I don't care what it means.
I don't care if I'm destitute and have to be a trucker. I'll never drive that route.
Not doing that route. Nope. Where am I going? Phoenix? Nope. Not going Phoenix to Austin. Sorry.
Absolutely not.
Not happening. He fights William Jake Cooner this night. Couldn't decide on a name. This is his first pro fight, apparently. He's 6-1 as an amateur, this guy. He fights, Brandon wins with a TKO with punches at 20 seconds of round 2. Okay. So pretty quick time. All of his things are punches. You don't see him win with like a any complicated moves or anything like that. November 24th, 2010 is the NAAFS Caged Fury 13.
Oh boy.
North American Allied Fight Series, that stands for.
I could have got a couple of those, I'm sure.
I'm sure. And whatever the fuck, who knows? Nazi something? I don't know. Nazi affiliated associates of fucking Stalin. I don't know. That would be the opposite of a Nazi because they fought each other. I get it, but what do you want from me? So, all right. So this is Caged Fury 13. Yeah. Caged Fury.
Shit, yeah.
Take your shirt off and show us those tattoos. So November 24th, 2010. This is at the Potter Field House in East Liverpool, Ohio.
Oh.
Jimmy's face just went, eh?
How do they have that?
Pardon?
Yeah.
East Liverpool.
I would say that's West Liverpool.
Yeah, I would fucking...
Super west.
Or way east. Either one. Just keep going.
Keep going.
Nope. Past there.
Past China. Keep going.
Yeah, when they stop speaking Japanese, you're going to keep going for a while. You're going to be close.
And they stop speaking Japanese and speak that native U.S. Mexican.
Yeah, you know how that goes.
You're almost there.
Almost. It's close. So, so he fought Cooner in the last one, who was a 0-0 fighter. Mm-hmm. In this one, he fights Jonathan Arnett, who is a 0-0 pro. Okay. So he's fighting a bunch of guys in their first fight.
They're just starting.
Yeah, and this guy was 5-0 in his amateur career here. Okay. So, he's a promising fighter, this guy. He beats Brandon after 3 rounds in a unanimous decision.
How about that?
So goes the full ride and brings Brandon down to 3-1 for his career. November of 2010, and this is don't ask how I found it. It's a long story. I'm not sure if this is when he started it, but it says this is when he started an email account. Okay. Starts an email account, which is White Steel B88. So he puts it in his fucking email. Idiot. Where? Hotmail.com.
Yes, sir.
So, Hotmail. In 2010.
Why did he start this?
Why? Because he needed an email
mailing
address.
list.
Yeah, White Steel B88. So Nazi shit. It's just Nazi at Hotmail. Nazi brain damage at hotmail.com. I haven't heard hotmail.com.
It's been a minute.
20 years. Yeah. It's like literally, I would say at least 15 years since I've heard anybody with a Hotmail address. Let's throw it out there to you.
Does it still exist?
Oh, fuck should I know? To, right? It's got to, I'm sure. They have to keep, because you can still people use their AOL mail still, for Christ's sake, if they're really insane.
I still have a Yahoo.
They're 100.
It's still there.
Yeah, I have one from back in the day, too. That's
It's still linked to my phone. I still get emails. It's all from shit I've bought from before.
Yeah, if I have to sign into something, that's my dormant email where that doesn't go to my phone. It's just pile it up in there, assholes. I don't care.
I don't get alerts for it, but every now and again I'll open it up and just scroll through and be like, oh yeah, I remember when I bought shit from them.
Yeah, it'll be like 1 week newspaper trials that I get information from. Sure, I'll sign up for that. There you go. There's my email. Have at it, buddy. Don't give a shit.
Send your spam there.
Right there. So December 18th, 2010. By the way, let's go over, he fought in August of 2008, and it was his amateur, was the first fight, not his amateur fight, his first pro fight. He waits a year, almost 2 years to fight the next one, and we'll find out why in a little while here. And then, so that's August, that's June of 2010, and then September of 2010, November 24th of 2010, and then December 18th of 2010.
That's a lot.
He starts fighting every month.
Yeah.
It comes to a point where I think it's 13 fights in 12 months with him, which is too many.
Yeah.
Too much.
2 in 1 month.
Too many to get hit in the head.
Right.
That's just not going to work there. December 18th, 2010 is Caged Madness 19.
Hell yeah.
Madness.
Absolutely.
Caged.
Yeah.
19.
Right. There's 18 others.
18 of others that were madness.
Yeah.
So how much madness can one cage hold, Jimmy? That's their tagline. How much madness can one cage hold?
There's too much madness for us to cage it all, so we're going to do 19 of these at least.
All his extra madness is overflowing all the time. It's leaking out. How much madness you want us to cram in there? We're only human.
Every month we bag up the leftovers.
We have excess madness. We donate it to Goodwill,
right,
and the soup kitchens and everything, but there's still, it keeps coming. Keeps coming.
Unbelievable.
So he fights Darnell Hicks here, right, who is a 2-2 amateur and is a 1-0 pro so far. This is Brandon wins with a submission with punches, though. So the guy got punched too much and gave up.
I don't think I've seen many of those.
Stop hitting me. Just turned around and ran toward the corner. I can't take it no more. He looked like the guy. Stop hitting me, please. He looked like the guy's, Jesus, he's hitting me. He's done hit me all over the place here. He looked like the guy's getting beat up by Carbajal at the gas station, I'm sure, just running around.
There's bees in here.
He keeps punching.
There's bees in the madness.
Will somebody get the fucking bees in the madness, please? Please. It's leaking out of everywhere. For fuck's sake. Jesus.
I quit.
Fucking bees. I'm not going to be the madness wrangler if no one's going to fucking help me with the bees. Can only do so much.
Fucking bees.
What the hell's going on?
Fucking bees.
What the hell is wrong with us? Oh, man. So this is at the Lux nightclub in Akron, which is so there's Madison Square Garden.
Right.
There's certain arenas, Jimmy. There's Madison Square, Tokyo Dome, places like that are popular.
Is it Deluxe with an E?
No. LUX.
Oh, really?
I can't afford the E on the side. They're like, no.
It's not even like short for deluxe. It's just LUX.
LUX,
Got it.
baby. That's how they think it's shit spelled. That's a word to them. So in this fight, like I said, it's submission with punches, as we discussed here, of 228 of round one. Uh-huh. So he knocks him around in one round. He's 4-1 now. Those are all his amateur fights that we just covered there. I don't know if I made that clear.
That was fast.
I don't know if I made that clear. Those are the amateur fights.
I mean, we peppered that in.
Okay, yeah. Those are his amateur fights here. Now, first pro fight is February 12th, 2011, and is in Warren, Ohio, Cage Star Pro Series 1.
Okay.
All right. He's fighting.
Sounds like a motocross event.
Yeah, no shit. It really does. So he's had 2 months off. It does sound like a motocross event.
Sounds like dude in like a cage ball. Have you seen those?
Cage Star Pro Series 1. They show him jumping through the air. Cage Star. Either that or like if World Star had a fucking like an event, they would call it Cage Star. That's where the fights are sanctioned now.
Yeah.
So
we got a governing body.
Yeah.
For this Burger King worker to beat the shit out of the customer.
Yeah. Hey, this is a great idea for a business. I don't know how legal this is, but if you could have a business where you would take people in and people who hate each other could fight. Like at the drop of a hat, you just have to sign some kind of waiver and the legalities of it are fine because it's in some sort of arena.
Can you sanction that?
I think we can.
If you can't sanction it, it's got to be just legal.
Can we call it like amateur exhibition of some kind?
If they agree to it, there's a contract and
I want people who hate each other to be able to fight is what I'm getting at.
I do too.
I think it gets it over with and it's good for the soul.
I got a list.
I want that. Yeah, it's selfish, honestly. Let's be realistic here. There's people I want to punch, okay? Is that good enough for you? I need them to volunteer at that point to accept my punch, but still, I want to do it. So this is in Warren, Ohio. This fight it's versus Kevin Zalac, Zalac.
Okay.
I don't know. This guy's a 4-2 career fighter, old Kevin Zalac. This is Brandon's first pro fight, and he loses by submission to a rear naked choke.
Oh.
So now he gets guys that, 4-2 fighter. He's had 6 pro fights. Yep. He knows what to do. He knows if a guy can't fucking grapple to grapple him. Right. And he does. And this is 203 in round 2. So Brandon 0-1 out of the gate. Not terrific. March 25th, 2011. This is the Pennsylvania Fighting Championship 5.
Okay.
So the whole state.
Yeah.
Just fighting. No particular style. It's just fighting.
And they've given up on even really trying to be clever at all. They
didn't care.
Where are we? And what is it? Done.
Well, they came up with like 10 names and they said, these all sound like motocross events. Fuck it. Pennsylvania Fighting Championship. That way people know there's no motorcycles. Yeah. So this is at the Zembo Arena in Harrisburg. It's versus Micah Morris, who's a 2-3 career fighter. Mm-hmm. So a little less successful.
At this point?
At this point. No, that's his career total.
Oh, really?
Total, this Micah Morris is 2-3. Brandon wins by KO with a punch at 1 minute 49 seconds of round 1. Okay. So he's got to knock you out or else he's going to end up getting his tied up in a knot. Right. So that's what he tries to do here. This makes him 1-1 total on his pro career. April 16th, 2011, he's back with the NAAFS.
Fuck yeah.
North American Allied Fight Series. Nazi Allied Aryan fucker something. So Caged Vengeance 9 is what we're getting at here. April 16th, 2011 at the Canton Civic Center in Canton, Ohio.
Hell yeah.
Huge stuff here.
Yeah.
He fights Johnny Bullet Fields.
Okay.
Bullet. He's quick. That's all I can think.
Fast as shit.
He's super fast, or he's got an oddly shaped head. It's the only two ways you can get that nickname. Really.
Still looks like he just came out the womb.
Yeah, either that, they called him Forcip growing up, and they changed it to Bullet when he learned how to fight. Bullet sounds better. If we call him Forcip, we're definitely mocking him, and he's going to punch us. Right. So if we call him Bullet, we're just like, hey, dude, you're fast.
What are you going to do?
Like, all right, and he nods his big pointy head at you. So the Bullet is 2-6 career. So the Bullet is not that fast, apparently, here. This is the Bullet's second to last fight.
Oh.
And Brandon wins this fight with a submission with a rear naked choke. So he learned something.
There you go.
He's learning.
He remembered when he got choked out.
Yeah, and he's like, maybe I can do that to somebody. 4:57 of round 1 there. So first round choke out, for lack of a better term here. May 7th, 2001 is the Purgatory Championship Fights 3.
Jesus.
Purgatory Championship Fights 3. Jesus Christ. By the way, let's go over February 12th fight, March 25th fight, April 16th fight, May 7th fight. So he's fighting like every 3 weeks now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fighting here. Purgatory Championship Fights 3. So
Hellfire.
This is to get into the heavens. This is loser goes to hell. The loser's soul burns for eternity. Come on down to Purgatory Championship Fights 3. A lot on the line.
That I'd watch.
I would watch that too. Just a guy sobbing in the corner afterwards.
Just for the view
My
of
eternal soul.
Watching him being sent to hell. However that happens, I want to watch that.
Whatever. A hole opens up in the sky or the ground and sucks him through it.
As far as I'm concerned, that's the winner. We're going to cheer for that guy.
Man, he really
should
have tried to block that takedown. It wouldn't happen. He wouldn't be down with the Dark Prince if that was so. This is at the Erie Street Market and Concert Hall in Toledo, where dreams are made.
Shit, yeah.
The Erie Street Market and Concert Hall.
Is this all
Toledo,
over Ohio? That's all he does?
He's an Ohio guy.
Yeah.
It seems like all these MMA guys, they start out locally, and then if they get good, then they start to be able to fight in other places. But they're like comedians. They have to start out locally.
You gotta run that open wide.
And if you want to be booked across the country, you have to be worth fucking bringing in.
Yeah.
Basically.
You're not going to put asses in seats in fucking Missouri, sir.
No. So eat dicks, friend. He ends up fighting Tyler the Shoot Beckley.
Okay.
Which the shoot, if you don't know, in like a wrestling parlance means he's no shit.
He's the real deal.
He's the real deal.
This is the one.
This is the, he was mad at Evander Holyfield for naming himself that, and he said, fucking bastard.
He took the one, so I'm going with the shoot.
I'll go with the shoot. He took real deal. So,
or is it CHUTE?
Yeah, no, it's not the poop shoot. Tyler the poop shoot Beckley.
Gross.
Coming for your butthole. Luckily, he is keeping him away from everybody's butthole here, Tyler. He's a 6-2 career fighter, 3-0 coming into this fight. So he's very promising. So this is a 2-1 fighter fighting a 3-0 fighter. Brandon ends up winning this fight in the second round at 3:53 with a submission with a rear naked choke. So he's learning to grapple a bit here, which he needs to, but he's still not very good at it from everything I've read about him. And I don't know enough about MMA to be able to tell when someone's a real good grappler, so I need to kind of read people who know what they're talking about, their analysis of people, because I don't know how to judge whether someone's a good wrestler like that. Like,
that's a good point.
I don't know how to judge that. Not that that's not judgeable, but I don't know. I'm not an expert on it, so I don't know.
And I'm not either, but I can tell you when somebody's not doing a good job.
I can tell you when someone's choking. That means they're not as good as the other guy, probably.
When that hand is going real fast against the other dude's forearm.
Other than that,
that's a bad wrestler.
I don't know much otherwise. Yeah, you put two shitty wrestlers in there, I'd go, both these guys are great. They're evenly matched. Look how evenly matched these amazing athletes are.
Competitive as fuck.
This is super competitive. So that was May 7th he fought then, bringing him to 3-1. Now May 28th he fights again, which that's 3 weeks again. So that's 3 weeks fight, 3 weeks fight. And that fight went 3:53 in the second round too. So he fought for almost 9 minutes there. You get knocked around a little bit. Brain damage. This is what happens.
Certainly.
May 28th, 2011 is Fight Night in the Cage 2.
Okay.
So these just, I don't know what to name it, but not that. We're out of names.
Yeah.
We've
exhausted them.
He fights Matt Gutter Van Buren.
I like that.
Gutter.
That's cool as shit.
Gutter.
Yeah.
I don't know if he lives in the gutter or he's ready to gut you, but
it's also a slang term for just like hood.
Yeah. So I don't know what he's getting at here, depending on where he's from.
Yep.
He's a 7-6 career fighter here, so he's kind of a journeyman. It's kind of who Brandon keeps fighting because these aren't. There's not the competition he gets is not.
There's no cream of the crop.
There's no cream of the crop for him yet. He's got to work his way up. This fight goes all 3 rounds, and Brandon loses a unanimous decision to Gutter here, bringing him to 3-2. So he said, at this point, I'd say maybe I should take a break. And take 2 months off because I've been knocked around. I fight every 3 weeks, and I just did a unanimous decision and lost.
This decision was not a great career path.
No, which means you probably got hit in the head a bunch if you went 3 rounds and lost. I'm assuming at one point somebody smacked you upside the head. So he says, fuck it. June 17th, I'm going to fight again. I need less than 3 weeks to prepare for the next one, which is this is crazy time. Here he fights, but he's taking fights if they offer him to him. He's got to take them because he has no. If they don't, they might not ever call him again.
And you know, this takes so much time to prep for in terms of like focus and
they should be
hours of your day. He doesn't have time for a day job.
Oh, and he has one because he's not getting any money. Yeah,
he's got to have at least something. He's got a
day job.
The money that he's making is so menial.
Oh, if he wins, he's making these little things. He's making $200.
Really?
Yeah, some shit like that. He's not making
figuring 3 to 5,
something like that. Yeah, I mean, he's not making $10,000 or anything.
Yeah, right, exactly.
So it's brutal. The money. He's got a day job.
Right.
He's normally the professionals they want a few months to train special for one fight, like to train specifically for that, where they do nothing else and all they do is eat, sleep, and breathe fucking training of this.
And supplements are so fucking expensive.
Yeah, they are. And this guy's just like going, he's going to work at the warehouse and then working out for a couple hours at night and then fighting every 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's crazy, and that's how a lot of these guys start. Like that's kind of like comedians, the same thing. Like they don't have time to work on their shit and do it and that's why it's hard to get good.
Instead of protein, it's just like a lot of mac and cheese.
A lot of mac and cheese, just a bunch. Yeah,
it's a filler, is what it is.
Yeah.
Whatever it fills the stomach.
No protein,
right?
Because protein's expensive. Dan.
Right.
Anything with protein in it's going to cost you.
That used to be an animal.
Yeah, that's an animal or a peanut or something. Either way, it's expensive.
There was a process to make that.
Damn it. So June 17th, 2011. This is Ring of Combat 36. Nice and simple, anyway.
Ring of Combat.
Ring of Combat 36. This is at the Tropicana Casino in Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Hell no.
America's fucking taint.
Yeah.
America's taint hair. It's not even the taint. It's just the hair that someone would want to shave off of the taint.
Right.
Atlantic City's a dump. Awful, awful place. And the Tropicana Casino, the fucking ceiling was probably falling down. What a piece of shit.
Waterlogged.
Yeah.
You can see the old water leaks.
They used to do events from that place in the 80s and it looked like a fucking dump. So I can't imagine what it looked like in 2011. Jesus Christ. He fights a guy named Casey Manrique, whose nickname is Casey Not in the Face Manrique.
Are you serious?
That's his nickname.
Not in the face?
Not in the face. Casey, not in the face, Manrique. He thinks he's funny. He's like, hey, not in the face, like, what the, that's not tough. Not in the face. Manrique. At least it's not please.
Yeah.
He didn't say, not in the face, please. That would have been, that's too much for a nickname. That's a lot. He's a 4-2 career fighter, this guy. So none of these guys have like 10 career fights that he's fighting.
Yeah.
Ever, even when they're done fighting. Brandon, this fight goes into round 2. At 1:30, Brandon loses by submission to a rear naked choke. This is the only move I feel like that these guys do to each other in this particular like circuit. This is the rear naked choke circuit, son. That's all you're allowed to do. Either punches or rear naked chokes.
At least he didn't get in the face.
That's true. There you go. Not in the face. Well, he won.
Yeah.
So he lost to a guy who's asking you not to hit him in the face. Good job, Brandon. So Brandon's 3-3. Mm-hmm. This is not a terrific. Not great. This isn't a good career.
This isn't a good start for sure.
Not at all. And he doesn't really have a lot more time to keep going. So we'll find out here. This is just about over with almost already. So June 17th, that fight was. So he waits this time. More of it. It was only 3 weeks. This time he's like, I'll wait 5 weeks instead of 3. So July 23rd, 2011, he fights at AP Crossroads of Redemption.
Hell yeah.
AP is not Associated Press. It is instead Annihilation Productions.
Oh.
Which sounds like they make terrible horror movies that are like, 6 for the price of one on one DVD in the Walmart bin for $5. So Crossroads of Redemption. This is at the Lawrenceburg Motorcycle Speedway in Lawrenceburg, Indiana.
Okay.
Oh, boy. Yeah. What do you think the bathrooms smell like in that joint?
That's a dirt trap.
They have troughs.
Yeah.
With
ice in it? Yeah.
No way there's ice. They're not going to put it. Ice is expensive, son.
It just doesn't flush. The ice, when it melts, that's the flush.
Yeah.
That's what that is, right?
Clears it away.
I think that's what that is.
I think it's just so it's not the smell of hot piss. Hot piss smells worse than cold piss, I feel like.
That's a good point.
You can't just imagine if you're sitting above just a fucking cauldron of hot stranger piss all into one. Plus, it keeps it from splashing in the piss water then.
Okay.
Because then it's all got a bump in it.
Have you pissed in a trough before?
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's the worst thing in the world.
I've done it at a racetrack.
It's terrible. It's fucking disgusting.
It feels weird. And the trough was always too high because it was for men and I was a fucking child.
Yeah.
So I'm standing on my tiptoes trying not to touch my dickhead to that rounded rim. It is the most fun. And then you've got grown men walking in, seeing a 10-year-old dick, and it was a bit uncomfortable.
We should not be that close to each other with our dicks out.
There should never be a urinal without the divider.
No.
That should be a law.
I should never have to get stranger piss on my shoes, ever, or any other part of my clothing. That should be a rule.
That is,
ever.
Yeah. But you never use the urinal.
That should be in a Bill of Rights, because then I get my own piss on my shoes. Here's what you do with the urinal. You walk up, ladies. You might not know this. You walk up. It's a higher up thing, and it's got either the urinal cake or a hard plastic thing that you can try to shoot like through the little holes of it to keep it less splashy.
The non-flush one.
But so you fucking piss in this thing, and you're pissing with force into something that's not that far away, and piss flies everywhere. It's fucking disgusting. You can look down at your shoes and watch piss flecks. You're like, why am I doing this? This is disgusting.
Every time I go to the bathroom now, every single time, it never fails. I walk up to a urinal and your voice echoes in my ear. Just I go, because we used to work at we used to record at the radio station, and we'd walk into the bathroom and James would always go in the stall. I go, why are you going in the stall? And he just the words. Piss on my shoes.
I don't want piss on my shoes. That's why.
You didn't even say that. You just go piss on my shoes.
Yeah. And you were like,
every time I convulsed while pissing and probably soaked my shoes.
You got more on your shoes, yeah.
But I've it never fails. As soon as I walk up to a urinal, I just go piss on my shoes.
Piss on my shoes.
Every time.
Everywhere.
And I still probably am pissing on my shoes.
Oh, yeah, you are.
It just makes me laugh.
My shoes are piss-free.
Mine are piss-soaked.
Piss-soaked shoes. Well, the Lawrenceburg Motorcycle Speedway is where you get those piss-soaked shoes in their trough. He fights Billy Mojo Horn here. Yeah. He's a 17-5 career fighter.
Big Austin Powers fan.
Oh, huge. Well, he's also, I think, a big wrestling fan here. His last fight was versus a guy. Oh, not he was. This other guy. Yeah. His last fight was versus a guy named Portland Pringle III.
Okay.
Who Percy Pringle III was a manager in wrestling. He's actually Paul Bearer, who was the Undertaker's manager. The Urn. That guy.
A creepy looking man.
He was Percy Pringle at first.
He did great.
So. Oh yeah, he was
played
awesome.
that character so perfectly.
He used to be a real Undertaker.
Oh, was that right?
He's a mortician. That's why.
No kidding.
Yeah, they had the Undertaker character they were working on, and then they were bringing him in as a manager. And that when they bring anybody in, they ask him like, "What did you do?" Whatever, because they try to match it up.
Sure.
And the guy said, "Well, I used to be I'm a licensed mortician." And they all went, "Get the fuck out of here."
I've never met one.
We have a guy who's like a zombie guy. Perfect. There you go.
We have a guy that's like a zombie.
Yeah, it looks like you embalmed him and he popped out of the coffin and you're going to go kick some ass. Good job. Perfect. So he fights here. This is he loses again. This is by submission with a rear naked choke again.
He's
susceptible to that shit. And
real susceptible.
This is at a minute 27 seconds of round 1.
He doesn't have a trainer telling him this is the one we're gonna fucking try to defend now.
Shit. I mean, how often is he training? How much can he possibly be? He's fighting every 3 weeks. He's got a day job. How much could he be training?
He's whatever it is. He's got to be only focusing on that now.
I would say so here. And with this guy too that he's fighting is a 17-5 fighter.
That's a good fighter.
That's a lot of fights. He's won 3 times. That's a lot. He's got a good win percentage.
How's that guy's criminal record?
So now he's 3-4. Unfortunately, clean.
Okay.
I wish it was more. 3-4 for his career now. August 27, 2011, he fights at the Iron Will Fighting Championship in Johnstown, Pennsylvania, versus Elijah Garshnik.
Oh, boy.
Which sounds like a made-up terrible name.
Yeah.
Like just an awful name.
This is Pennsylvania. That's the toughest Amish guy around.
Yeah, no shit, Elijah.
Yeah.
Is it Hezekiah Garshnik is his older brother, who was the champion of all the Pennsylvania fighting leagues here. So, Iron Will Fighting Championship here. Elijah Garshnik is 9-5 in his career, and Brandon comes back with a comeback win here. Wins by submission at 3 minutes and 1 second of round 1. Yeah. So he's 4-4 now, Brandon. Okay. He keeps kind of going back and forth here. October 1st, 2011, this is the Fight Right MMA Fight for Life, which makes it sound like that is an anti-abortion event. The Fight Right Fight for Life sounds like it is 100% raising money to bomb abortion clinics. That's exactly what that's for.
But is it like it's a little on the what's the word, contradictory side? You're fighting the right? What are you doing? The right's for
right.
that.
Yeah, fight right. So they're fighting to the right, I guess.
Fight with
politically
the right.
spectrum, I guess. I don't know what the and they're saying that they're right on top of it. So they're trying to find this is Fight Right MMA is the company. Okay. This is at the York Expo Center in York, Pennsylvania.
Could have guessed that one.
Oh, you know it. He's fighting William Bookwalter, who is a 2-2 career fighter total, and this is his last fight.
That's it.
So I'll give you a hint of what happens here. So William does not win, but Billy Bookwalter doesn't get the W here. We'll say that.
He didn't win and ride off into the sunset.
Just said, you know what? I'm done. Like John Elway. I won my title.
I'm out.
Done. He wins by TKO here with punches at 3 minutes and 7 seconds of round 1. Brandon does, and he goes to 5-4. Now that was October 1st. That happened. 2 days later, on October 3rd, he's arrested in Ohio for 2 counts of non-payment of child support here. So he's found guilty. So I don't know if, maybe if you have kids and you don't make a lot of money, maybe being an MMA fighter might not be the best career path for you, especially if you're not that good at it.
You don't follow a dream when you've got responsibility.
Well, if he was like 9-0 at this point, you'd be like, well, there's money right around the corner for this guy. He's about to, do something. But I mean, he's 5-4 fighting, he's only beating guys who are kind of the dregs. It's not.
You've got responsibilities that require food. Well, it's not just like you got to pay your own rent, that kind of responsibility. This is people's livelihood depend on you.
Yeah.
You gotta, unless that's financially suitable, then fucking figure out something else too.
And apparently, it's not financially suitable because when you're arrested for 2 counts of non-payment of child support, that's an issue.
And that wasn't 1 month. You're not arrested for last month.
Well, they don't, it takes a long time for it to even be a thing. So like you don't, oh shit, I forgot to make the payment 2 days ago, and then there's cops knocking on your door. It's like I'll be a year of that shit, 6 months of that shit before anyone comes looking for you to arrest you.
Certainly.
So he is he's found guilty here. I'm not positive of the thing. He doesn't go to jail for it. Most of the time, the non-payment of child support, unless it's some crazy amount of like that's an obvious guy, it's like a scofflaw has been running from child support for 15 years or some shit. Normally, jailing a person so then they can't make money isn't the best outcome for it. Usually, it's like, well, you didn't pay her, so now you're going to get jailed and she'll still make no money. I don't think the mother wants that either at that point.
The best interest of the children if he's on the streets making money.
Let him out and send him to work so he can pay me my fucking money so I can take care of these goddamn kids that he left behind when he went to go get punched in the face for no reason.
Every 3 weeks.
By guys named Elijah. What the fuck is happening? So October 3rd, October 1st was the fight, 3rd was the arrest, October 21st is another fight.
Okay.
So, man, that is less than 3 weeks. That's too short. 18 days, especially with jail in between. He didn't have time to train properly.
No.
He was arrested and going to court in the middle of all this shit. This is, the event is called Locked in a Cage 9.
Do they do that?
So,
do they lock him?
I would assume
Is that
so.
locked?
I don't think so.
I don't know if it's locked.
I think you could leave if you want, probably. I don't think you're
You could probably give up if you want.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to say, nope,
no,
stay in there.
To the death.
To the death, yeah. So, this is Bloodsport. I don't know what you think you signed up for, pal. Jean-Claude Van Damme's going to fuck you up in about 2 minutes, buddy. So, yeah, this is, he fights Lamont Philly Badass Lister.
Philly
Badass.
Okay.
Philly, like Philly, the city. He's from Philly.
Right.
The Philly Badass, Lamont Lister, who is a fat white guy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's a big fat fuck.
Screaming about water ice?
Yeah. He looks like saying, don't touch my fucking tasty cakes, pal. This guy looks like a guy, if you saw him in a bar, you'd be like, oh shit, that's a tough son of a bitch. Yeah. But in a professional environment, he doesn't look like an athlete. You know what I'm saying? He's one of those. He's a 6-13 career fighter. Spoiler here, the Philly Badass loses this fight, and then he loses 2 more and then retires. So not going well for the Philly Badass. This is 1 minute and 6 seconds of round 1. Brandon wins by KO.
Wow.
So not that badass, I would say.
Or maybe Brandon is.
Or maybe Brandon is the new Philly Badass.
Right.
Take that.
You take that nickname when you lose like that.
So now I'm the Philly Badass. Right. Take that. I'm not even from here.
I'm from Ohio.
I'm going to take his sash and put it across myself.
Give me your shorts.
Give me your shorts, pal. Yeah, they're too big. Never mind, you fat fuck. So 6-4 for Brandon at this point. November 26th, 2011. This is when he starts getting better fights. He fights for Bellator now, which is a bigger company. Yeah. This is Bellator Fighting Championships 59.
He can make some money here.
He can make a little bit of cash. Yeah, he's not going to make $300 here. He's going to make $1,000 or whatever the fuck they get. I think we looked at a lot of these like $2,500 or $1,500.
Some were 13.
Yeah,
it was low. It was low thousands.
But it paid for your travel at least.
Certainly.
The other ones were not. Right. This is at Caesars in Atlantic City. Okay. So it's in Atlantic City, but one of the better places in Atlantic City, which is pretty much like saying, the cleanest hooker down by the dock, like down at Hunts Point in the Bronx in 1992.
There's less AIDS in this one.
Yeah, a little bit less than this woman. She's
HIV positive. She doesn't have full blown AIDS.
No, not full blown. If you've ever seen the HBO documentaries with the hookers at the point, you'll know what I'm talking about, because these were crackhead hookers. Yeah. These aren't like, they're not working their way through college. We'll put it that way. These are crackheads, professional, 25-year going like, you don't have 20? I'll blow you for $12. Like, yeah,
these aren't 21-year-old girls. These are women with 21 years of experience.
And 21-year-old children.
Yeah.
Is the other thing. So, not good. Not good. Here he fights Gregory Milliard, who is known as Gregory the Aruban Assassin Milliard.
Yeah.
That's a cool name. Not a lot of
Aruba.
Not a lot of Aruban fighters.
No.
It's pretty laid back down there.
Pretty chill. Yeah.
It's pretty chill. Like, I don't know how you'd be that angry on an island coming from Aruba.
Yeah.
Like, it's pretty, I don't know. That's tough.
All this blue water's got me pissed off.
Pissed off, man. Just
all this tourism dollars. I am furious.
Fucking scantily clad women and beautiful skies and
looking for a Reuben dick.
I hate seafood. I hate it. Ridiculous. So the Arubian Assassin is 9-4 in his career.
All right.
And this fight goes all 3 rounds, and Brandon loses a unanimous decision.
Oh no.
Bringing him to 6-5.
That's tough.
Yeah. So January 28th, 2012 is the NAAFS. He's back there again. The National Association of Asshole fucking
asshole shits.
I was going to say something. I was like, can't say that.
Too many swear words.
Too many swear words. Too many in a row. Cage Fury 16.
Okay.
Now, this is in Morgantown, West Virginia. Yikes. With the whites running around everybody. Boone County mating call clicking in the distance. Jesus. He fights Mickey Hughes, who's a 5-6 career fighter, and this is his last fight. So, shocker, he loses this one. Hughes loses.
From West Virginia.
That's right. Yeah, Mickey from West Virginia. Brandon wins by KO with a punch at 2 minutes and 6 seconds of round 1.
Let's be honest, this was a dare on Mickey's part. One of his friends was like, I dare you to fight.
He's like, all right, fine. And that happened 11 times. He was so blackout drunk he forgot. So 7-5 now for Brandon, bringing us to 3 weeks later, February 18th, 2012. Way too often. You're still sore.
Yeah.
Jesus.
From the first
one.
From
the first one. It's never gone away. This is NAAFS Caged Vengeance 10. Mm-hmm. The last one was Caged Fury 16. That was 3 weeks ago, and now they're doing Caged Vengeance 10. So they have the Fury series and then the Caged Vengeance series.
Jesus.
Running parallel. This is versus Nick the Savage Duel.
Yeah.
The Savage.
Yeah.
He's an 11-5 career fighter, the Savage is. And Brandon beats the Savage.
Great.
He beats him here. He wins with a KO with a punch at 2 minutes and 42 seconds of round 2, bringing his record to 8-5. Brandon.
Look at you.
So there's Brandon now. Now he's set to fight a guy named Roger Bowling.
Yeah.
And this is like kind of the Battle of Ohio type of thing. He's from Neville, Ohio. Mm-hmm. So they're making a big local deal out of this. Like, hey, 2 local guys are going to fight, but no one pays any attention to Brandon. It's like Roger Bowling, this guy, and they talk all about him and his upbringing and everything, is fighting this other guy from Ohio. And like, that's it. So apparently Bowling is he had a tough life. His father was a drug addict who was in and out of jail, and his mother had like 3 jobs and drove the school bus and all that shit to support the family. He played baseball and football and all this type of thing. He was kind of a fighter, like a bar fighter and a street fighter type of guy. And when he was 18 years old, he went to live with his girlfriend to go to a vocational school to learn welding.
That's no good.
Well, not if you want to be a pro fighter. He has a background in amateur boxing, apparently. He had a 9-0 amateur boxing record, Roger Bowling, so he's a stand-up guy. And he did a lot of like tough man type competitions. He would go around and do these
Ohio Kimbo Slice.
Yeah, he'd pick up $200 beating the shit out of some bum in a bar type of guy. And then he ended up getting introduced to MMA, and he started to do well. And he fights. This fight is on a Ronda Rousey card. So this is a big deal in 2012. Yeah, it's the fights on the it's Strike Force Tate versus Rousey.
Oh, it's that
fight.
one.
Yeah, did you see this fight?
Yeah.
Okay, well then you saw this fight too.
Tate, she's a good fighter.
Yeah, well then you saw this fight too. Then
go on
the undercard. This is on the undercard here. This is his big shot. Mm-hmm. He's fighting this Roger Bowling guy. It's if he makes a showing, he can do something with himself.
Okay.
Grace. This is Grace.
An undercard bout with Ronda Rousey as the headliner.
That's Grace.
That's tough stuff.
That's Grace for him. He hasn't even fought the fight yet.
This
pre-fight is Grace.
This might be Grace for Rousey too.
Yeah, I think it is. This is about Grace. Grace for everyone on this card. This is the gray. It's called Gray. It's actually Strike Force Grace. Tate versus Rousey. March 3rd, 2012. This is at the Nationwide Arena in Columbus. So this isn't the Lawrenceville Motorcycle Speedway. No. It's a different story. And he's fighting it's Relentless Roger Bowling. That's his name.
That's scary.
Relentless. So he's a 12-6 career fighter. Okay. Roger, total in his career. At this point, though, he's a little better than that. And this fight goes into the second round, and at 1:15 in round 2, Brandon loses by TKO to punches. So this guy, he's trying to, because this guy likes to stand up too.
Yeah.
So
James, he's relentless.
He's relentless, goddammit. He's so fucking relentless. So Brandon wants to stand up with him because that's what he feels like is his strength too. But you're not a 9-0 amateur boxer.
You don't fight against a guy named Relentless.
And that guy concentrated on nothing but boxing for 9 fights and nothing but his hands, and fought other boxers and beat them all. So he's probably pretty good with his fucking hands. Try to wrestle that guy maybe. So
bite his ankle.
Something shit. So this brings Brandon to 8-6. Not terrific here at all. Now he's got another fight set. That's on March 3rd. He's got another fight set for June 2nd. Okay. He's supposed to fight a guy named Chris Goldbaugh, who was 2-1 at the time.
He's got some rest coming up.
And finished his career at 2-2.
Oh.
The guy he's supposed to fight, by the way. This fight is canceled though. It is canceled. Not the card, just that fight is canceled, and let's find out why.
Oh boy.
Strikeforce CEO Scott Coker, this is a less silver move here. He made the announcement. He makes an announcement at the post of fight press conference for Rousey Tate. So there's that. They have the main event, and then afterwards they have a press conference and winners and losers and all that. He makes an announcement there about Brandon and the fact that they found some
after he just got his ass kicked?
After he just got his ass kicked. During the fight, some background information came out on Brandon that he did not put on his application. And that we haven't covered yet because, hey, it didn't come up. We'll talk about it as it happens, which is now. So, he says, Scott Coker, the CEO of Strikeforce, said, quote, "We had no knowledge about that until someone brought it up to us this evening. It came to our attention during the course of the fights." So someone literally was like Googling this guy while he was fighting and then went to the CEO and was like, "Did you know about this?"
Yeah.
And they were like, "No."
Well, what the fuck is it?
Didn't even Google this motherfucker, apparently. Well, first of all, the tattoos were prompted an investigation to begin with.
Sure.
They were looking into them. It's weird.
That's a good point. This whole time he's had his shirt off.
He's had his shirt off.
Shit.
Yeah. MMA is having a hard time from everything I'm reading about this and with dealing with this type of shit. They don't know how to deal with it. They don't know because honestly,
speech and shit like that.
Not only that, they don't want to alienate a shitload of their fan base who are fucking a lot of Nazis or their not to be whatever because there's a lot of people who are just regular people watching. I'm not saying that if you watch this, you're a white supremacist, but there's a lot of dudes who are a little white supremacist-y who fucking watch MMA.
It's true.
And I don't know if you don't see Fox News going on condemning that shit either because it's part of their audience. You know what I mean? I'm sure the reporters themselves feel that they're bad people, but they don't want to alienate 30% of their crowd.
Unless you're Megyn Kelly.
So, well, she doesn't care. So, no, but I feel, and that's not a shot against anything. It's not a shot. I'm not saying fucking Republicans are Nazis. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that some people are Nazis. And
those people tend to vote Republican.
And I'm voting a whole lot of Democrat, put it that way.
They sure didn't vote for Obama.
Probably not. So either way. So they're looking into this thing. They say that there's a full investigation launch, but the tattoos brought up the investigation. Like I said, they're having a hard time figuring out where the line is with this shit and what is freedom of speech and what is also something somebody might have done when they were younger. Or maybe they don't even believe in that anymore.
Maybe they made a conscious decision to veer away from that lifestyle.
Because that happens too. People see the errors of their ways. That happens. It's not completely impossible.
Unfortunately, I can't cover that up anymore. I'm here fighting.
Everybody
My shirt's
knows.
got to come off.
It's got to come off. So the Coker guy said, quote, "They're going to launch a full investigation on Monday. So that's where that's at. As far as you guys know, the policy for Strikeforce and UFC is that kind of body art, offensive behavior, and offensive art are not going to be allowed. So that's something we went to the athlete with. He responded, and we're going to investigate further and see what the truth is." He declined to get into the conversation that he had with Salig here. But he now talks about a couple days later, 2 days later, the executive director of the Ohio Athletic Commission, who is Bernie Profato. Hey, Profato, how you doing? He announces that Brandon's fighter license has been revoked. It's been revoked, not for the tattoos, mind you. That's not why it's revoked. He told the MMA, he told a press journalist of some kind, MMA journalist, that Brandon falsified information on his application for a license by failing to disclose he had ever been convicted of a crime other than a traffic offense. I haven't told you yet, but he's been convicted of plenty of shit that's not a traffic offense.
Really?
That he hid on his application.
He didn't tell anybody.
Nobody knew about, and a simple Google search would have found it, and nobody fucking bothered.
And they didn't see 88 lightning bolt and go,
let's look into this.
Just traffic?
Let's just check it out.
Let's assess from.
Yeah, that looks like some shit you get, in jail if you're afraid. You join up with them and they get a stupid tattoo and now you're
protected.
Now you're protected. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. But I don't know. So he said that this guy says the omission put Brandon in violation of the administrative code by the bylaws that govern MMA in Ohio, which states that a fighter's license can be suspended or revoked if he or she has violated any law with respect respect to any sports regulated by the commission or any rule or order of the commission, or has been convicted of a felony. So, let's get into this shit. Bravado also said, we're not going to speculate until we have the facts. He's innocent until proven guilty. If it's on his application and we missed it, we do apologize. So they're saying if he did put the shit that he was in trouble for down and we just missed it, that's our fuck up. We shouldn't have let him in, but we did, and that's our bad.
Right.
But he's saying we don't think we missed it. So
I think he missed it.
Yeah. They said he notified Selig by certified mail of their decision to revoke his license, and he's entitled to a hearing if he wants one here. Now, Brandon said that he'll have his first opportunity to challenge the license revocation meeting like a week later. He has. And if he wants to challenge the decision, he'll be able to, he can use an attorney, he can get witnesses, he can basically present a case for himself of why he's a good guy, and any counter evidence that would compel them to reverse the course on the whole thing here. So in addition to this, of his license suspension in Ohio, also Nick Lembo of the New Jersey Athletic Control Board announces that Brandon's license is also suspended and revoked in New Jersey for falsifying information on his license application there as well.
Oh boy.
So those are the states he was licensed in, and they fucking yanked it from him. So now he's in real trouble.
Yeah.
What the fuck did he do?
Yeah.
What did he do to cause this whole thing?
This?
Let's find out what he did.
Where's the cross on fire at?
Well, it's kind of worse.
Yeah.
I would rather he's just burning crosses on fire. What did he do? Well, let's start with November 28th, 2007. He's living in Cumberland, Iowa.
Yeah.
This is right before he starts fighting.
Iowa?
I'm sorry, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Ohio. Yeah, you're like, what? It's all Ohio. What the hell's he doing? Cumberland, Ohio. He's arrested for assault on November 28th, 2007.
Yeah.
Regular old assault. This charge ends up being dismissed by the prosecutor for, I don't know if the victim didn't want to deal with it. Lack of evidence one way or another. So that's November 28th, 2007. January 5th, 2008, he's arrested in Ohio for assault. These are these are things you needed to put on your application that he didn't put on his application. Yeah. And it gets worse, mind you. He ends up with a guilty plea out of this one, but does no time, and it doesn't appear that he even got probation. Okay. I don't know if this was one of those, they gave him one of those suspended, whatever it's called there. I think maybe that's one of those, but it doesn't appear that he even got probation. He didn't seem to be on the books for anything out of this, for an assault. So that's January 5th, 2008. January 29, 2008, he's arrested for domestic violence.
What the fuck, man?
This is another fucking issue.
2 weeks later.
This is, 2 weeks later. No, 6 months later. So January to July.
Oh, okay. I think
July,
January again.
No, July 29, 2008. He's arrested for domestic violence there. So that is, in the last 7-8 months, 3 assault arrests that he'd never told them about on his applications. And it gets worse.
Yeah.
Well, that's
and this
not
is
it.
Domestic violence. That's way worse.
Way worse. Yeah. He didn't get in a fight in a bar. No. He didn't punch some other guy.
This is ZV. This is bad.
He beat up a woman in his house here. Not okay here. So he ends up that he's arrested July 29th. August 27th, less than a month later, he's arrested again for domestic violence.
No.
Less than a month later, he's arrested again for domestic violence.
Why is he on the street?
How many fucking assaults is this?
Yeah.
So he's just...
That's 4 in a row.
That's 4 assaults in less than a year.
That's crazy.
2 of which domestically.
Wow.
This is crazy. Looks like from everything that I found here, it looks like they rolled both domestic violences into one case and allowed him to plead guilty to a misdemeanor first-degree domestic violence charge.
Ohio, you are so lenient.
This guy, I don't know what the fuck it is with this guy. I don't know if he had a lawyer in the family that helped out or what, but I don't know what it is, but they had him plead guilty to misdemeanor first-degree violence. He has to serve 40 days in jail out of this because it's 2 domestic violence charges, not to mention
a month.
Not to mention the other 2 assaults from earlier in the year. The judge has to look at that and go, control yourself.
40 days.
And this is all right before he started fighting. This is like his training.
Yeah.
Like it's fucking ridiculous.
I'm pretty good at this.
Yeah.
Pretty good at fighting people that can't fight.
I'm 2-0 against my girlfriend. Let's try a fucking pro fighter now. Like 2-0 against my girlfriend in the kitchen. Let's try this in a cage and see how it works out. What a fucking asshole.
Try it against somebody expecting it.
Yeah, there you go. Let's try to get somebody who's also making a fist with their hands, that sort of shit. So, I mean, this is 40 days in fucking jail. he does 40 days, and this is right before he starts fighting.
Right.
So he basically does 40 days and then starts fighting.
Okay.
And he has to I don't know if maybe jail got him into the MMA,
Maybe.
or maybe jail got him into the tattoos, because there's no pictures.
Started one of the two, right?
Something. There's no pictures of him that I can find that are available. I mean, I'm sure they exist, but that are available to the public of him pre-fighting. So I don't know if when he got these tattoos. Okay. I'd love to see a picture of him in 2006 to see if he had the tattoos before jail or not.
But he doesn't.
So that's what I mean.
And how soft is he that 40 days in prison, he's like, fuck it, white supremacist me up.
Yeah, not even in prison, in jail.
Yeah, jail.
It's a fucking county.
You're in county.
Yeah,
You're getting lightning bolts in county?
Yeah.
Jesus
They let
Christ.
you keep your clothes there half the
pussy.
time. What the fuck are you doing? Yeah, you don't get a uniform. Jesus Christ.
You're wearing a shirt, for Christ's sake. Nobody can even see it.
He comes home. Apparently, at this point, he came home to his home, where the one he shared with his girlfriend there, and he was fucking in a rage because he just got out of jail,
right?
And he said apparently the house was all fucked up on top of it. Like when he went away, like the house is fucked up and she's gone, and now. That's going to lead to more domestic violence, I have a feeling, here. But I mean, first things first, he's got to fix up the house.
Yeah.
He has to. He can't live there like this. So, first things first is the toilet's got to flush. So he calls for some help, and it's Paul Calhoun, shit pipe enthusiast. And he says, how is it you come to arrive here, guy? What the fuck is wrong with you? Yeah. What are you doing? You're a fucking jerk off. You're bouncing all over the place. I see you're fighting this guy 4 times in a fucking year. What's wrong with you?
Did you put a shirt on?
Put your fucking shirt on with your Nazi tattoos. Get the hell out of here with that shit. I tell you what, I think you took my jingle a little too seriously there, pal. We'll put it that way. It's supposed to be all in a funny light. Hey, haha, you smack your wife, but you don't really smack your wife. I mean, nobody fucking, what is wrong with you? Jesus. Here, I got a new one for you, as a matter of fact, just for you, because you could use a new one, because you're an asshole and you don't know. It's call Calhoun's. We clean. See, before we clean shit pipes and we smack your wife, but I gotta do something different for you. Calhoun's. We cleaned your pipes with a snake. Now keep your wife nice and safe. Hey, how's that? Clean your pipes with a snake. Keep your wife nice and safe. Huh? There you go.
Yeah.
Well, it doesn't rhyme that well, but for you, it doesn't matter at this point. We can't just tell you to do. Oh, how about this? Your toilet flush is better. Take your wife out to dinner. How's that? Huh? Take her out to a nice place. 2 of you go to the Olive Garden. You sit down. All you can eat breadsticks. You know what I'm saying? Never-ending pasta bowl. You do something.
Take you. That's the most Italian way of making dinner and better rhyme.
Your toilet flush is better. Take your wife out to dinner. You do that. That's how it works. No, I don't know. Never mind. You're beyond fucking help. You're a jerk off. I'm getting out of here. Poof. And in a poof of shit and PVC, he's gone.
That's amazing.
And Brandon is very confused.
Yeah. Did he just make those rhyme? I think he did. I really got to get rid of this tattoo.
Brandon got all mad and he's like, not us, you take her out to dinner. Jesus, relax, guy. Quit swinging at me. What a fucking mess. That's bad enough. All these domestic violences and assaults and visits from Paul Calhoun and everything else. His life is clearly in shambles before he even started fighting. That's not it, though.
No.
That's not it. Let's go back a little further.
No.
We were going back 2007, 2008, right before he was fighting, but we got to go back a little further
Younger
than that.
Younger
still to find out something absolutely fucking horrible that he did. He was arrested at 18 years old here. This was October 8th, 2004.
What's her name?
He was arrested. And with a friend of his here, he's arrested and indicted in connection with an alleged rape of a person under 13. Under 13. He's 18 fucking years old.
How's he not in prison?
Details, my friend. Apparently, it was him and some other fucking jerk off that he was hanging out with here. A James T. Allen, who was also 18, a guy from Sarasville. These idiots apparently were the sheriff's department, Noble County Sheriff's Office, was investigating the disappearance of a 12-year-old girl and her 13-year-old sister.
God, Jesus.
Which is a problem, obviously. Now, the sheriff there, Landon Smith, said said the girls' parents allowed them to go to an all-night birthday party at a friend's house. Yeah. One of those sleepover birthday parties that 8th graders have. Yeah. Sleepover birthday party at a friend's house in Monroe County. Now, the parents apparently found out that the girls left the party with these two 18-year-old fucking idiots.
Why did they do that?
Why did they take them?
That's my question.
Yeah, these two. Well, I'll give you a hint. The Brandon Sailing, and it was James T. Allen, take these girls away from the party, and each of them is charged with a first-degree felony rape of a person under 13 years old.
Wow.
So that
at 18 years old.
At 18 years old, you're going to rape a 12-year-old.
Why aren't they in prison forever?
Well, let's find out here. The girls' parents had allowed them to go out, but like we said, they said the sheriff said, "quote When the parents went to pick up their daughters, they discovered they had left the party during the night. The suspects allegedly had shown up at the birthday party and asked the girls to go for a ride with them. Then they were not returned to the birthday party. Gross. And following an extensive search, the girls were located in a camper in Stock Township." So they took these fucking little girls to a camper to have sex with them.
Vile.
Absolutely fucking disgusting. Here. He ends up being convicted of something here, but not, it's not rape. It's because he's 18 years old. They give him a plea, and they allow him to plead to gross sexual imposition.
You're right.
Part of that is correct.
Yeah.
Gross, yes.
Right.
It's gross. It's not even sexual, and it was certainly an imposition. So.
Gross rape imposition? Can they call it that? Because that's all of what it is.
If it's a 12-year-old girl, I want the word rape in there.
Absolutely.
You fucking deserve that shit, you asshole.
Unbelievable.
He apparently is convicted, like I said, for gross sexual imposition, and is listed after that on the Ohio Sex Offender Registry. So
that is far too lenient.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
That he didn't get more than that. But I with 18-year-olds, sometimes they're trying to. You get a judge that's got a sympathy for a younger person and thinks that they can, they deserve another chance. And no, they don't.
Boys,
bullshit.
You have a dick. You have a responsibility.
That's right.
You have a responsibility to make sure that yes is echoing
not only
loudly.
Yes,
and
these girls,
that she is 18.
There you go. These girls might have been enthusiastic and fucking waving them in. Who cares? They're 12. I don't give a shit.
That's what Chris Hansen rings them up for.
Fuck
you can't do that.
12 is not. No matter how interested they are, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't fucking matter.
You make sure of what you have.
Yeah, she also liked the Powerpuff Girls. Don't have sex with her, you fucking idiot.
Unbelievable. Mm-hmm. How do you think that that's okay?
You don't. That's why you take them to a camper somewhere and have sex with them. If they thought it was okay, they had sex with them at the house.
That is horrific.
To take
in Arizona, if you are knowledgeable of your child under 18 having sex with another child that's under 18, you're responsible for that.
Okay, that's crazy. When we get into under 18, right? It's like if two 17-year-olds fuck, that's not any of anybody's business.
It's not your problem.
It's not my problem or business.
Unless they come up with a child, then we got an issue. My problem.
Right? Other than that, I don't want to know what 17-year-olds are fucking each other. Sorry. I mean, what are we going to... You're going to put you in jail for fucking your boyfriend or girlfriend? That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. That's so stupid.
If you're both underage.
Yeah.
And if you're both of age, who gives a shit at that point? But that's what it is. You can't... 12. What do you see? Have you ever looked at a 12-year-old and been like, she's going to be hot one day, or she's hot now? No. Never, ever.
No, I don't even know what to say about that. So,
horrible.
He is listed as high risk on the sex offender list as well.
As a reoffender?
They just list him under the high risk category of, hey, watch this asshole because he fucks kids.
Sounds a problem.
Pedophile category. So let's talk about some silver-haired middle-aged white men that made all this possible. That made a guy with 4 assaults, 2 domestic violence assaults, and a fucking underage rape charge. How they didn't bother that shit. Basically here, the NAAFS, they employed Selig for a couple of fights, including an amateur fight, and then also 2 professional fights. And that led him to be signed by Strike Force after that. Now, the NAAFS CEO, Greg Calican, Calacass says he was just completely shocked to hear about his criminal. He says, Jesus Christ, I was completely shocked not only to learn about his criminal background, but his association with Nazi symbolism as well. He tries to claim as a grown man he didn't know an 88 with lightning bolts didn't mean Nazi shit.
Okay.
A guy who fucking owns an MMA company didn't know that. Like, he's never seen that before. He says, quote, I was really as surprised as everyone else that knew Brandon, to be quite honest. Are you out of your fucking mind? I can't say I had a lot of direct one-on-one contact with him. He's usually dealt with our matchmaker, but the times that I've seen Brandon and watched him interact with other fighters and fans, we would have never seen this coming. We are very surprised.
How do you not know that?
Well, first of all, you could have Googled it and fucking found. This isn't 1987. This is 2012.
Right.
Google it. You would have found that. You know how easy it is? Google right now. Pick up your phone. Google Brandon Salig. You will find an arrest within the first fucking page. You'll find rape charges. It's fucking ridiculous. You can. Very easy to search this shit.
Forget the white supremacist part. That's the part that puts it entirely over.
And then when he was standing in front of you shirtless, you see he's a fucking Nazi on top of it. Jesus Christ. God damn it.
An actual Nazi, Jay. This isn't just like soup Nazi or some
he's not
goofy phrase.
He's not just real OCD about some shit. He actually is, he's into Nazi shit. This guy continued, the Calacass continued. Obviously, we weren't aware his criminal record or his tattoos or what they stood for. Obviously, that's something we wouldn't condone. Our state athletic commission is investigating the matter, and we'll let them do their job and leave it in their hands at this point. We had no idea, and if we did, we certainly wouldn't have allowed him to fight and represent the NAAFS.
It's really not that obvious.
It's really not. It's pretty obvious. The criminal background check was even the state athletic commission missed it somehow. How? I didn't miss it. I'm a fucking idiot. I didn't miss it. How did you miss it? There's a million websites that do background checks where that would have popped up. I found all his shit on there. I found fucking speeding tickets of this guy.
Unbelievable.
Jesus Christ. They said that he makes no excuses. The Calacass guy, no excuses for his organization when it comes to the tattoos. On his, the tattoos, he said, quote, I'm not going to make any excuse. We missed it. Obviously, other people missed it, but fighters are tattooed from top to bottom, and at some point, it's just hard to catch everything. He's not tattooed from top to bottom. On his whole, he has the thing on his stomach, little thing across his chest from like collarbone to what are these bones here?
Clavicle to
clavicle, and then on his shoulder, the only thing there, right in the front, is an 88 with 2 fucking lightning bolts around it. It's not mixed into a mural.
And I'll bet that 88 really fucking stands out.
Oh, you see it. He's a bright white guy with he's a ginger with 88 on his fucking thing. He says, at some point it's just hard to catch everything. To be quite honest, even if I would have looked for that tattoo and seen it, I wouldn't have known what it meant.
Jesus.
I consider myself somewhat educated, but I would have never known that's what it meant. I learned from this mistake, and it's something we'll be looking for moving forward.
You know, the only person on earth that's more famous than Jesus is fucking Hitler.
Fucking Hitler.
Everybody knows who he is.
Dumb son
and
of a
everybody
bitch.
knows what his lightning bolts mean.
That's one of the silverest statements fucking ever. He didn't just say, man, normally they make excuses that, he's not a bad guy or, he's a misunderstood. He literally said, I don't know. I didn't know that was a Nazi thing. He literally just went, oh, really?
Wow.
No.
News to me.
Had me right over the head. Had me. Wow.
How many jokes are explained to him on a daily basis? Yeah. What a stupid man.
You're an idiot.
What a fucking dummy.
Wow. A guy in that environment knows what that shit means. Come on. So he also says, Calacass said he can't imagine it's going to be easy for Brandon to find a job fighting anywhere after this.
I'm surprised that guy's still the boss.
No shit. He might not be now.
He shouldn't be.
They should have been
It should be harder for you to find a job, sir.
Not one that deals with anybody who's shirtless. Put it that way. He says, quote, unless the commission investigating reveals new information that we don't have, I have to say no on whether he could fight again for his promotion. He says, which is actually pretty unfortunate, to be honest, because we're all for people and fighters getting a second and third opportunity. And for all we know, Brandon is turning his life around, and I'm sure he still can. But the way things currently stand, I'd have to say no. But let's see what happens when the investigation is finalized and we can go from there.
Wow.
Dude.
This is like his 9th chance, man.
Dude, he fucking raped a kid and beat his fucking girlfriend twice. 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Later. That's
Done.
strike 3. And I don't even mean for professional, just asshole reasons. Like, he did that. That's 1. And the other 2, because I don't count the other assaults. Who knows what happened there?
We're even bypassing 2.
That's fine.
We're giving him 2.
I'm giving you 2. I'm spotting you 2 assaults, and you're still kicked out.
You're still done.
Fucking idiot.
Ring him up.
Good God. He even says, this is amazing. Quote, the whole thing is disappointing and saddening to us. And we feel bad for the kids that were involved and for the people that were offended and for Brandon, in a sense. For all we know, he's trying to change his life and become a good person. And the last thing we want to do is interfere with that. But times have changed in America today.
In 1942, you dipshit.
At what time in America was it okay to rape 12-year-olds? And have that be okay?
That's a damn good point, too. I was even sidestepping that.
What the fuck?
Times have changed. You can't have that Nazi paraphernalia anymore.
Yeah.
That was fucking 60 years ago, man.
The moment World War fucking II, the second we fucking sent one guy to start training, Nazi tattoos were bad at that point. Then it was
They're
done.
out.
They've been done for 60 years, and it was never okay to fuck 12-year-olds,
Ever.
except in the 1800s when he used to marry them off at that age. But in fucking 2011, not acceptable.
Gross.
And not acceptable for a long time unless you were a famous musician. But other than that, not acceptable. Then you could marry children at that point, if it's Jerry Lee Lewis and Elvis and everybody else. But
as long as you can make an honest child out of
make an honest. Jesus, you make an honest 4th grader out of her, mister. Fucking terrible.
Make an honest honor roll student out of her one day.
Jesus Christ. An honest sophomore out of that young lady. I'll tell you that right now. Oh, it's so awful. Jeez. You all right? You gonna have a stroke there? What the hell was that?
I just threw up.
He just threw up into a box.
God, that hurts so bad.
No.
Oh my God!
Never okay to fuck kids.
No,
that's the point.
Sophomore is the word that does it. That word ruins me.
I had a joke with sophomore in it 6 months ago or so, and you lost your shit too. You love that word. It's so descriptive.
I just threw up. Oh.
That's amazing.
Unbelievable.
That's fucking amazing. So he's blaming this on changing times.
Yeah.
People are so sensitive today.
Right.
Not liking child rape and Nazis and all. What the fuck is going on? I think people are too sensitive. I think that is the right amount of sensitivity to not like Nazis and kid fuckers. Sorry.
It's crazy how those are the two, that collectively we all agree that those are the worst things.
Those are the bad things. If you're a Nazi kid fucker, you're the worst.
And this guy's just like, in this economy, what are we going to do?
Then he said the fact that Selig lied on his application to the commission, and that's something he'll have to deal with should he choose to reapply or appeal their decision. Even if he is approved, saying he might be untouchable, and he says, because of his tattoos also, it's a problem. This is fucking amazing. Then the guy says, quote, Kalakakis, or Kalakak, Kala cocksucker here. Kala silver-haired cocksucker says sometimes you can't run from your past, and unfortunately it looks like this is going to be one of those situations. The whole thing sounds like
talking about.
It's just it's so unfortunate that poor Brandon has to suffer the consequences of child rape. That's
unbelievable.
So unfortunate. Are you kidding me, man?
Unbelievable.
This guy's a fucking asshole.
Yeah.
And the fact that he says he blames it on things have changed in America. You can't even have visible Nazi tattoos anymore and have people not look at you askew. Jesus Christ.
He didn't scream women's lib or some shit.
Yeah, no shit. It's all these damn feminazis going out there saying we can't rape children and such and wear Nazi tattoos. I don't understand it, but whatever. Fucking ridiculous. So Budweiser at this point, he said they come out and make a statement about this whole thing because they get wind of this and they're a major sponsor of all this shit. Yeah. They said that they're talking about sexism and homophobia inside UFC has gotten pretty bad at Anheuser-Busch. Anheuser-Busch isn't known for its liberalism, progressiveness. Yeah, they're not known for that shit. Really, they're super not. They said that they were publicly threatening to remove sponsorship money. They told Ad Age, which is an ad media thing, quote, "We've communicated to the UFC our displeasure with certain remarks made by some of its fighters, and they have promised to address this. If the incidents continue, we will act." So they're threatening to pull fucking million. I mean, that's their money. That's all that matters to them.
The
like
Gatorade of domestic violence is pulling out.
Fuck yeah, they're pulling out. You're like, what are our people going to drink before they beat their wives now? Can't have that. Right. What are they going to drink before they get a Nazi tattoo put on their chest? They need something here.
Budweiser, it dulls the pain.
Yeah, and they were saying how that kind of like cryptic like threat is never made in public by big sponsors. They were saying, get your fucking shit together.
Wow.
And that was just because this brought attention to this and made Budweiser go, well, we sponsor UFC and we hear a lot about your fucking Nazis in there too, and we're not going to have this shit.
Was that like a tweet? I wish that was a tweet.
No, they said it to Ad Age.
Okay.
Now,
I wish it was a tweet.
That would have been great.
I'd retweet the fuck out of that. That's amazing.
That's a great screenshot and retweet. So Dana White has shit to say about this now. Also, obviously, the kind of whatever he is, the leader of the fucking UFC.
A weirdo.
He said, quote, "Apparently what this guy did is he lied on his application to the Athletic Commission in Ohio, and he lied on his application to the Athletic Commission in New Jersey. So to the best of my understanding, obviously this guy is never going to fight for us again. And he might not ever fight again. I know he has been suspended by both states, and then all these other commissions follow a suspension from other states. And for this guy to ever get licensed again, he'd have to have a hearing for the Athletic Commission. I find it hard to believe that this guy will ever be licensed again, so he better go find another job."
Can we stop minimizing what he did?
That's
he didn't lie.
That's what they keep saying.
He raped a child.
Let's talk about what he lied about.
Right.
Which is domestic violence and
let's say
under 12, under 13 fucking
rape.
Gross sexual imposition to be fucking factual.
Right.
Rape.
But the point is, if he discloses that, he's not getting a license,
exactly.
right? Is that
yes.
Is that what Dana's saying, though? Dana's not saying that.
No,
Dana's just saying he lied.
He's there.
Dana, how about you say if he would have disclosed what he did, we wouldn't have had fights anyway.
That's the thing. Well,
stand there.
And it's so weird. They're just concentrating on the line.
Right.
They're not concentrating on what got him there. Rather than saying, we don't want a person in our organization who would do the shit that he did.
Right.
And if we knew that, if he wouldn't have lied about it, we wouldn't have let him in because we don't need assholes like that.
Stand on that pedestal and maybe we'll have some fucking respect for you.
He didn't fill his application out correctly, which is that's really not the point.
No.
You're super missing the point here. Like by a fucking long shot.
And you wonder why your fucking sport's a joke?
Yeah.
You don't even stand on the right pedestal, you dickhead.
No, morally this is not a thing. And no sports are, honestly.
No.
So we don't expect moral shit out of sports. I really don't. That's why we do the show.
But when we know what the infraction really is, you don't have to be cryptic anymore.
I feel like the NFL, as shitty as they've been to everything and as much as they've let domestic violence go and all this shit, and they let Greg Hardy back in the league 20 times and all that sort of shit here, I find it hard to believe that if a guy had a fucking child rape charge, they would be okay with it and just be like, well, he shouldn't have lied on his application. Right. They'd be like, that type of person has no place in our league and family and the fans and the kids and the and they'd show the flag and there'd be a fucking flyover and they'd fucking have
the press conference,
a 21 gun salute
sponsored by Pepsi,
sponsored by Budweiser and Pepsi and the fucking army. It's like, what happened? So he appeals the decision.
Why?
He's got balls. He has to go before that commission and go, I'm cool, right? This is all good, right? In a 3-0 vote, the Ohio Athletic Commission denied Brandon's appeal on a license revocation that was handed down. He recently, they're saying, talking about him, he says about this is decent, actually. Brandon says, quote, "It's fair. I falsified my application." When they talked to him afterwards. So, no shit, asshole.
Brandon, you raped a child. You gross, sexually indecent. What did it?
You imposed yourself sexually in a super gross way. Not okay.
That's what you did.
That's not okay.
You didn't lie.
It's fucking gross. And then lied about it on top of that. He says that the revocation runs until the next year, 2013. And if he wants to fight in Ohio after that, he needs to reappear before the commission to show just cause as to why he should be reinstated. Yeah. He says he'll likely reapply when the term runs its course. The New Jersey Athletic Control Board issued a separate license for revocation like we talked about, and that one runs until June of 2012. So that's like an every 3 months thing.
Yeah.
So he can reapply after that, and he says he doesn't know whether he's going to reapply for that. So I think it costs money too, so you wouldn't want to, if you're not going to fight in Jersey anyway, you're going to wait. Now, what ended up happening is on the application to the Athletic Commission, it asks about previous convictions beyond traffic offenses, and he just marked no.
That's no good.
Just no, and he had a lot more than that. So yeah, he's a fucking mess. Basically, they said that he's not UFC. Dana White said he'd never fight under the Zuffa. How's that company name? Zuffa umbrella again. And he says that Brandon says he made grave mistakes earlier in his life, but he's been trying to better himself, and he says he's not a member of any white supremacist groups or anything like that. Despite his tattoos and all that sort of shit, he said I'm just a nice guy, made a couple mistakes, and by the way, did I mention not a Nazi?
Is that what he said?
He said he's not a member of any white supremacist group.
No.
You know what? Let's do an in their own words on this asshole.
Oh, this is great.
Let's give this dickhead an in their own words, and then we can mock him more.
Terrific.
Let's do in their own words. Quote, everyone thinks I'm this child predator, like I'm hiding out in the bushes being this sick fuck kind of person. That's not me by no means. The charges were because of the age difference between us. It's not like I held anyone down and made them do anything. I know what I did was wrong, and I wish I could go back, but I can't. I can get my tattoos covered up. If that's the problem with me fighting for anybody, I can get it covered up. Maybe I could change it. No. He's
missing the point too.
You missed the point. You missed the It's not like she's 12.
Right.
It doesn't fucking matter.
I didn't violently fuck her. Do you understand?
18, 12.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. You at 18 have so much more of a mental capacity to convince an innocent child to do something that they don't know what the fuck they're even doing.
12.
You fucking asshole.
Idiot.
So that is the same as holding her down because you talked her into it because she doesn't know any better. Because she's fucking in the 7th grade, for Christ's sake. Jesus, my son just turned 12. He's in the 6th grade.
Yeah.
You know how fucking young that is?
That's too young.
It's ridiculous. Fuck me. God, what a fucking asshole. I hate this fucking guy. This guy's pissing me off.
I didn't hold her down. Unbelievable.
The fact that you have to be just contrite and 100% like, I was a terrible person. What I did is unforgivable. Yeah. It's horrible. And
if you don't want me fighting in there, I understand. I wouldn't want me fighting there either.
Because God damn it.
But I'll tell you what, I'll tattoo this into pedophile. How about that?
How's that?
I'll change this into kid fucker.
Whatever
you'd like.
I'll make the 88 into a couple daisies. What do you say? It's 4 daisies it's going to look like. It's all lined up next to each other.
That's the only thing that makes it better, sir. If you make lightning bolts and 8-8 into kid fucker.
Kid fucker. If you do that,
fight away.
Fight. Yeah. You know what? There you go.
That's your penance.
If you want to brand yourself with kid fucker, we'll let you fight.
You got enough words on your chest that people will get confused anyway.
And you can only fight really good fighters who are warming up for better fights. Those are the only guys you're allowed to fight of a different weight class.
Right.
You fight heavyweights who are in training from now on. That's it. And they don't wear any pads on their hands. How's
the good
go?
news is you're getting double pay.
So
double pay him.
There's that.
And explode him in the ring.
Fucking unbelievable.
What an asshole.
I have to go through it one more time because that just was so infuriating. Everyone thinks I'm like this child predator, like I'm hiding out in the bushes being this sick fuck kind of person. Yeah. That's what fucking a 12-year-old is.
Oh, I mean, you could take that whole sentence and then just take bushes out and put the camper.
That's it.
Done. That's what you are.
It was worse.
Yeah.
You hid out at a party where she felt safe.
You went
at
to
a friend's. You went to a 13-year-old's birthday party.
Yeah.
What does that say about you?
You're a fucking loser, bro.
You're a fucking loser, and you're hanging out with the. When I was 18, if anybody said, "Hey, do you want to hang out with this 12-year-old chick?" I would have been like, "I'm not babysitting some fucking chick. No, I'm not babysitting some fucking kid. I'm trying to fuck this 17-year-old girl I'm hanging out with and get high. Are you nuts?" what's happening here?
Unbelievable.
I would have considered that babysitting at 18, a 12-year-old. I didn't want to be near a 12-year-old within 10 miles of me. Fuck away from me.
When I was 20, I had a friend who was 19, and he had a girl that he knew that was 18, and she had a sister that was 15. He was like, let's go hang out with these chicks. One's 18. I'm like, no. Absolutely no.
The day I was out of high school meant that I'm done with high school girls, I think.
In that situation, there's a lot for you and nothing for me. Yeah. I'm not going.
No, thank you.
I'm way too old for this shit.
Wow. I know what I did was wrong, and I wish I could go back, but I can't. Well, then you can't fight either, dickhead. Right. Some things.
You can't go forward either.
Sorry. Now, it's funny, too. The Profado guy, he said the situation has made him take this, the Ohio State Athletic Commission guy. He said it's made him take a closer look at the applications of potential licensees. Tough decision, isn't it? He really feels bad for him. I feel like he's such a fucking victim, this Brandon. I feel so bad for him, but not nearly as bad as I feel for Brandon Salling, a sales associate at Walmart.
He's sailing.
He fucking works the floor at Walmart and shares the name with a pedophile Nazi. This guy's life is not great. In Salinas, California, someone, if you know Brandon, go give him a pat on the back and a hug and go, dude, it's all right, bro.
It's not irreparably fucked, bro.
It's not. Unless he fucked kids, too. Then don't hug him.
It's possible.
Maybe he works there because he fucked kids and he can't find a better job. You never know. But I doubt it. I bet that guy's okay. Also, Brandon Salling, some dude on Pinterest. First of all, he's a man with a Pinterest account, so right away I feel bad for him from that. But he does have a nice pin for storage ideas for like old media, so I'm going to check that out. He's got a nice box on there that not a bad idea. Pretty good. Brandon Salling, some dude on Instagram. He has 61 followers and follows 285 people.
Yeah.
Only has 10 posts. A picture of a pug, a cat,
my kind of guy,
a bottle of Orange Crush, and some vague uplifting meme type things. Quote, sleeping is the time to feel real freedom because there's no rules in dreaming. A man posted that.
Look at this guy. Is it at Brandon Salling?
It's Brad. Yeah, it's. I think so. I don't remember, but if you look him up,
he's about to get a shitload of new followers.
I think he is.
One of them.
Be like, oh wow, great. Also, Brandon Salling from MyLife.com. Here, this poor bastard. He's from Caldwell, Ohio.
Oh no.
He was born in 1992, so he's 6 years younger. But I would assume gets confused from all the time.
Constantly.
He lives, I believe his middle initial is C also, which is the same as this other one here. He's also, he's been known, it says on this report, known as Brandon C. Salling. He is a Native American, a registered Republican, and lists himself as a Christian.
All the shit luck.
He's got that, he has also a reported annual income of $40,000 to $49,000 a year.
He's probably doing better than ours.
Probably there. So that's that. And finally, who I feel the worst for, Salling's Dog Obedience School in Brandon, Florida.
No way.
Swear to Christ, if you look up Brandon Salling,
is that what he's doing?
Comes up. No, this is just some poor bastard that lives in Brandon, Florida, and whose last name is Salling, started an obedience school, and that's what it looks like. So a Nazi dog fucker will take care of your kid. He does not work there or own it, but that's what you'd think. It's rated an A on Angie's List. They've been around for 8 years.
They're doing great.
I have a review from them here from 1 year ago. It's a B rating. Quote, nervous dog needed leash training. Brenda was very pleasant and patient. Her love of dogs was very apparent. Got good instruction and tools, but dog didn't make much improvement, possibly due to her anxiety and lack of owner practice. Well, then it's not their fault. Give them a fucking A. If you didn't practice with the fucking dog, it's not their goddamn fault. I bet you they told you to practice with the fucking dog. Ask Bobby Collie, be like, hey, you practice with your fucking dog. What do you think? The fucking dog's going to learn it and take it home like homework? It's a fucking dog. You got to practice with it, you fucking asshole.
You only teach it so much, and then it forgets unless you practice.
I teach it. How do I need to teach it? You more times? Maybe tell you what, leave the dog at home. You come in for a week in the obedience school.
We'll work on treats.
You. And then you can work on the dog. They have a Groupon at the moment, so check them out. May of 2014, there's a new policy. This it's apparently it's for the UFC. It asks UFC contractees to release personal information for background checks. According to what they said here, they're asked to detail their medical history as well as educational and especially criminal backgrounds. Everything they want to know. They're also asked to waive a doctor-patient confidentiality, which would allow the doctors to discuss potential medical issues with the UFC, which would mean that they could try to see if shit's wrong with these guys so they could pay them less money. That's what that's about. That's exactly what that's about. I guess all new fighters and even existing fighters are required to fill out the questionnaire. And they said, quote, Zuffa LLC requires its contracted fighters to act in a legal and responsible manner and avoid conduct detrimental to the integrity of the UFC organization. As the UFC's highest profile independent contractors and the ambassadors of the sport of mixed martial arts, UFC fighters are held to a high standard by Zuffa, the media, and the public. It's important for Zuffa to be fully informed of your background in order to evaluate and potentially assist on a matter that may be detrimental to the integrity of the UFC organization. At least they don't try to say it's for your own good. They're like, we're making sure that we want to be associated with you. Because we're obviously wonderful people.
We have a product to sell after you leave. That's what it is.
After you leave, while you're here, everything. We can't let you.
Before you, and we'll still be here after you're gone.
Yeah, no, absolutely. A UFC representative said that, they've been collecting it, but the new form is more. It's got more stuff on. They've always had a form, but this one now.
In depth.
They said that the neo-Nazi tattoos or something they were looking into, and all that sort of thing. I guess they were talking about a fighter named German welterweight named Benjamin Brinza, who was released after neo-Nazi ties surfaced in 2014. And also in 2014, a featherweight named Will Chope was released after his second UFC fight when it was reported they found out that he was discharged from the Air Force due to a domestic violence arrest.
Good God.
So they're finding out these things now. I guess in the second guy, the Will Chope's case, the transgression took place 5 years prior to signing with the UFC and wasn't pursued in criminal or civil court following military conviction and discharge. So they gave him a little lighter deal on that. And then Shope appeared with his ex-wife in a video asking for a second chance. And she was like, no, he's okay. He's good now. Look, see my eyes? Neither of them are black.
They're healed.
Everything's great.
My teeth are a little loose.
Loosen them up, but a little dental work. So yeah, fucking ridiculous. I hate when guys do that. Beat the shit out of a woman and then make her sit next to him to tell everybody he's a good guy.
So gross.
Fucking disgusting. I hate that shit. At that point, you have to plead your own case. She's not allowed to do it anymore. Also that he said that, in the video that he's a good guy and he deserves a second chance. He hasn't had any trouble with the law for 5 years. What the fuck here? UFC makes it clear that any fighters involved in domestic violence are viewed in the harshest light. I would say child fucking would be worse, personally.
Yeah.
I mean, domestic violence is horrible, but fucking kids is...
It's a different level.
Yeah, if it's Mount Rushmore, kid fucking is Washington. You know what I'm saying? Like,
harshest level is domestic violence, unless they're saying both are the harshest level.
I would hope.
Whatever.
Yeah, standards for enforcement are unclear. That's the thing. They have they say it's the harshest light, but they have no
case by case.
It's all case by case. Exactly. I haven't put in it, but we'll see how much money he makes us. You never know. He could be somebody popular.
Right.
I mean, if 3 years ago Conor McGregor beat the shit out of his wife or girlfriend or anybody, he'd still be fighting the next goddamn week.
If Tito Ortiz was beating up Jenna Jameson while he was fighting, then we'd have a problem.
Yeah, exactly. So UFC Dana White has said the promotion evaluates problems on a, quote, case-by-case basis.
Hell
exactly
yes.
What he said. That's why I was like, exactly. Where do you hear this?
What an asshole.
Yep.
Depends on who they are.
Depends on who they are. A fighter who feels he's been wrongly terminated has little recourse but to seek an audience with the promotion. It's all like in football and baseball, they have antitrust exemptions. So they have to deal with, at some point, there's government oversight to them.
Sure.
Everything has to be on the up and up. UFC's not like that. They're a private company. They can do whatever the fuck they want. They can just say, can't work here anymore. Right. Bye. And then you're gone.
That's unbelievable.
So they're trying to protect its brand, the brand for everything. One person here said a private association has their own constitution, bylaws, and rules. They can apply or impose whatever they think those rules are, and there's no claim for due process because they're not a state actor, and as long as they're following their own rules, they can sort of do whatever they want. Yeah. The fighter can either abide by them or not, but they can't really contest them, if you will. Yeah. It's a private thing. Yeah, you can't contest shit.
You know, the leader of their group is a bald man named White. Like it screams white supremacy from the top to the bottom.
I guess. I don't know enough about it. It's hard for me to make. Yeah,
on the outside looking in,
if you just looked
it
at
just appears that
Nazi
way.
tattoos, bald guy named White. Yeah, you look at the
bald
crowd.
White guy named White is in charge.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's horrible.
Now I found an
We need a black guy with an afro as the president of that company.
That would be amazing. That would be perfect.
That'll calm this shit down in a second.
Now I found an asshole's opinion on this whole thing. I'd like to just call it an asshole corner we're going to go to now. This has no author name. Nobody had the balls to put their name on it. Just the MMAcorner.com. It says it's the MMA Corner staff that wrote it. So not even balls to put your name on this. Quote, you're going to be screaming in here. Just let me finish. Okay. Quote, some symbols, most famously the swastika, have multiple meanings. Long before the Third Reich, the swastika represented good luck in many cultures. Not any fucking more. No, if anything represents bad luck, it's that shit. There have been books written on the topic, and there's a heavily, yes, we know the Tibetan, blah, 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 blah. You're not fucking smart because you think that shit, idiot. There have been books written on the topic, and there's a heavily tattooed individual going by the name of Man-Woman, I don't know who that is, who has sought to free the symbol from its negative past and return it to its original meaning as a symbol of good fortune. That would be like if the N-word was originally positive. It's kind of tainted now. Sorry.
You can't bring back 3 million Jews in the that symbolizes.
And Charlie Chaplin had that mustache and everybody loved him. So certain things are tainted and ruined at some point here. That's one of them.
Away.
Blah, blah, blah. Man-Woman happens to be covered in swastika tattoos, but he is definitely not a neo-Nazi. As it says on its website, quote, I'm re-sanctifying the swastika, which was used for centuries as a symbol for good luck and profoundly sacred creative energy, the true self, by Greeks, Romans, Celts, Vikings, Christians, and yes, even Jews. Africans, Mayans. The fact that they said that means he's a Nazi. And yes, even Jews.
Right.
He said Jews.
Even Jews.
Africans, Mayans, Aztecs, Chinese, Hindus, Buddhists, Tibetans, Hopi, Cree, and wandering Neolithic tribes.
No.
Go fuck your mother.
It's over, dude.
The number 88 is actually another good example, as it represents good luck in Chinese culture. Because these fucking bald assholes walking around, they're really into Chinese culture. Right. And they're like, I put 88 on because it's good luck for the Chinese. Fucking idiots.
I just love the chinks. That's what it is.
That's what it is. That's not us. That's a fucking Nazi. Right. That's what he's quoting. Somebody would go, Jimmie just said no. So it's what it is, though. Yeah, he says, is actually blah, blah, blah. Does Zuffa refuse to sign a Chinese fighter with the number 88 tattooed on his body simply because they've determined the symbol always means it's one bearing a neo? If he's from China, you can have the fucking 88. How about that as a fucking exception? If you're from China and you have a fucking heavy accent and you say, bring a good luck, and they go, yes, fine. Fuck me. I'm sorry. I can't take it anymore.
The second he puts lightning bolts on either side of it, the fuck out of here.
Fuck out of here. Yeah. Jesus. Blah, blah, blah. I would hope not, he says. I would hope you wouldn't keep this guy. He's just a defender of this is an asshole. Quote, the point is that beyond the most obvious cases of body art representing hate, swastikas combined with other neo-Nazi imagery. Nope, swastika's good enough.
No, that's the one.
For example, we cannot expect everyone on the commission or within the MMA promotion to know and screen for every piece of hate imagery. There's a few Nazi ones that are big you can keep an eye on. Nor can we make the assumption that certain symbol stands for hate. Yeah, you can. That you can absolutely do. Jesus. Instead, the commissions and promotions need to better educate themselves on these topics, maybe bring in a consultant with an expertise in tattoo symbology. Then, through a background check, the quote literal body of artwork should be interpreted as a whole and taken in context with the fighter's behaviors and past actions to determine whether the fighter is projecting an image that would prevent his signing. Anything else makes for a slippery slope. That's what he said. A slippery slope. Toward what? Hating Nazis? No. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck your mother. MMA Corner. Suck a fucking dick, you cunt fucks. There. Fuck you.
You're wrong.
You're wrong, and you're assholes, and you're fucking pussies.
Yeah.
MMA Corner.
Trying to justify any
fucking assholes.
Any use of the swastika is just plain wrong. You're an
fuck
asshole.
You.
You're an asshole.
You can say, well, I don't care. That's my freedom of speech. Fine.
Cool.
Go fuck yourself. And then we'll all go, you're a Nazi asshole.
You're an
and that's our fucking freedom of thoughts. And that's how it works. Right. That's the world. You're allowed to make decisions that make you look like an asshole. Right. Perfectly allowed. Perfectly legal. Right. We're allowed to go, don't want to fucking deal with you now because you're an asshole. That's the also part of the world. Has nothing to do with free speech. The government isn't telling you not to put swastikas on yourself. We're calling you an asshole. Me and Jimmie, which is not a fucking. We're not the government.
You can tattoo the head of the zodiac on your chest, and I'm going to look at that and go KKK. Fuck out of here.
There you go.
You put a hood on that's pointy like that,
yeah,
and I hate you.
It's fucking. You're a Klansman. Either way, though, I'm sure after all of this, Brandon has learned his lesson by now. He's good now, right? Yeah. Totally.
Well, I mean, he's got to have a job now.
He's
certainly humble.
And this whole thing, he's willing to do it.
He's a good guy now. He changed his way.
He said he's a good guy. Yeah. September 17th, 2015, he is arrested for a slew of shit. Breaking and entering, top of the list. Yeah. Possession of drugs, possession of heroin. Illegal conveyance of drugs into the jail because he was hiding drugs somewhere. And they said, if you got anything on you, fucking tell us, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm good. Then they searched him into the jail and he gets another fucking charge. Attempted rape.
What?
Oh, the R word's back again. Oh, by the way, rape is another fucking charge.
Oh, boy.
All in one fucking,
Attempted and he did it.
Attempted and he did it. First degree felony rape, too. Not second, first degree felony fucking rape and attempted rape and all the other shit I just mentioned. So, September 24th, he ends up taking a deal.
Yeah.
A week later, takes a deal. On this deal, he pleads guilty to illegal conveyance to a detention facility, failure to register a new address by a sex offender, failure to provide periodic verification of current address, which is a third-degree felony for a sex offender, and attempted rape. He pleads to and takes a deal and is sentenced to, you, sir, may fuck off. God, I wish he could fuck off even farther.
25.
6 years.
Oh, my God, that's so light.
6 years. Took a plea.
This man has raped.
He's a fucking, he's the luckiest motherfucker in the world. I don't understand this. He raped multiple people, domestic violence, all this shit he does.
Wow.
It's fucking crazy. So, yeah, all of these things.
Do we know what he did? Do we know the event?
No, we don't know the exact thing. I assume just by looking at it, breaking and entering, looks like he was on something, had heroin on him, broke into a place, and then raped and tried to rape.
Yeah.
That's
tried to and then fixed it.
Tried to and did, yeah. That's all I could think. And then when the cops came, he keistered his fucking drugs, and they said, you got anything in there? No. And then they shined a flashlight up his ass and pulled a bag of heroin out.
Sometimes when you cough, shit falls out.
Shit falls out. So that's what it seems like to me. As that if I had to, it was my old mugshot joke where I would take the crimes that this person has been convicted of and try to piece together a night out of that. That's the night I can piece together. It's a wild fucking night.
It really is.
So he takes a deal, 6 years he's put away for, thankfully. That's good. He is at the Warren Correctional Facility. He's still there now.
Good.
That was 2015. It looks like he's going to do his fucking full term here.
Good.
The expiration of his stated term is Christmas Day 2020. So next year is as far as they could possibly hold him, and that's like a 6 year. That's the whole 6. Okay. They haven't let him out yet. I feel like they're probably not going to.
No.
I feel like they're keeping him in for the full fucking tour at this point.
Danger.
So he's in there, like we said. Since he's been in jail, it also looks like he's had several infractions on the inside. Maybe
he'll get some
institutional charges. Just a fine young man. Just a fine young raping fucking girlfriend punching, child raping, Nazi tattoo having, fine young man, upstanding citizen.
He's really turned it around.
Yeah, no shit. Can't get enough of Brandon Saling?
Wow.
Well, tough shit because nobody cares about this asshole. We'll let you know if he gets stabbed in jail. Fingers crossed. Put it that way.
There's
Other than
nothing
that,
of this for sale.
Nope, nobody cares. If you really want to know more, I recommend that you get arrested in Ohio and hire a terrible lawyer. You'll run into him somewhere. And hope he doesn't rape you. I don't know. Or try to put a fucking 88 on your body somewhere. But
keep your butthole tight.
Keep your buttholes tight, everybody. That, everybody, is Brandon Sailing and a very fucking wacky story of a guy who just hid in plain sight.
You know, with all the things that he did, I'm shocked that laughing was what made me throw up today.
Yeah, not the rest of it. No, that's a really good fucking point, Jimmy. That was a hell of a cherry on top right there, my friend. If you like that show,
wow,
I know how you can tell us about it. Get on iTunes or wherever you listen to podcasts, whatever platform you're listening to, and give us a review. It helps us out a lot. Really does on the business end. If you want to be helpful, you can do that. 5 stars would be wonderful. Just tell us you're following instructions or directions because it's not for our egos. It's only for business. Head to shutupandgivememurder.com for all of your crime and sports and small town murder needs. All of your t-shirts and your mugs and your bath mats and your floor mats and your leggings and your skateboards.
Right.
Everything like that. All sorts of awesome stuff on there. Also, you can find tickets to live shows. We are going to be announcing a slate of live shows for the rest of the year all over the country, all sorts of different places we've never been before and stuff like that. Some of the places we have been, don't worry.
Right.
But some places we haven't been also. The Nashville Small Town Murder Show for the 14th of April is sold out. Yeah. That sold out pretty damn quick.
It did.
So we'll have more up there, but keep checking back periodically.
It's really awesome, this audience. The
people
people that bought up the tickets, and then the people that can't go, like things come up and those tickets go up for sale on social media and they're snatched up in seconds.
Yeah,
it's
they
fucking
put
incredible.
them up and I'll take them. They're so cool.
It's gorgeous.
They've really created a really awesome like little community of just people who are nice to each other.
Yeah.
And we have like this, we don't have like warring factions of listeners like a lot of shows do. We just have
keep this going.
Keep it going, guys. And you know how you can be a part of it too. Follow us. You can do that at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook, and at Small Town Murder on Instagram. Yeah. And follow us. Join the groups too. There's like the Crime and Sports fan groups. They have all these little groups on Facebook you can get into, and I don't know, people are friends, man. They
be good to people. God damn it.
We were just looking at somebody on Instagram. It was Cart and Mariah. Mm-hmm. People came from different countries to meet up together to hang out. Do they know each other only by social media, by listening to our shows? And it was people from different European countries and someone from America all got together in Europe.
We made a couple. That one guy, I think he lives in Florida and she's in like Jersey, and Philly, I don't remember.
Up north somewhere.
But they're a couple.
That's what I mean.
So fucking beautiful.
We love it. Thank you guys so much. We can't thank you enough for that. And if you want to be an even bigger hero of ours, good God, the most heroic of them all, trudging up the mountain. You're trudging up Little Round Top, man. It's a certain death and you're going anyway. It doesn't matter. You can be one of our hero producers who we're going to talk about in just 1 second here. That can be very easily done right from our site, shutupandgivememurder.com, or you can just go to these other sites. Patreon.com/crimeinsports is where to do that, or go over to PayPal, make a one-time donation using our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com. It's also a good way to get a hold of the show. So with that said, without further ado, Jimmy, Jesus Christ, after that, I need to be flushed.
I'm going to tickle you with these.
Please, tickle me with these names of people we actually like and aren't sickened by.
This week's executive producers are Jamie Core, Emily Wilkins, Keenan Eisenbart, Jacqueline Hall, Megan Hasek Watts, E-Bitch from P-Town, and Mike. Thank you guys for everything you do for us. You guys are fucking incredible.
The life's blood, guys. We appreciate you.
Real.
Thank you.
Other producers this week are Brendan Abels, Ashley Lavatai, Leslie with no last name, Logan Klein, James Martyr, Elaine DeCoste, Jesse Hartman, Steve Tucciarello. I don't know. I think that's right. It's Italian, right?
Yeah. And it's how it looks.
Right.
It's phonetic Italian names.
Tucciarello or Tucciarello? There's no consonant between the CH and the R, but it's probably Tucciarello, right?
Yeah. Yeah, Tucciarello.
Or do you pronounce the ch? Tuccia. I don't know.
Just however it
doesn't
looks.
Matter. Stevie
It's easy. Thanks. Hey, Stevie.
Reagan Shalkley, Ann Bradley, Martina in San Francisco, Gina Miller, Aaron Ishiak. I always fuck that one up. But he's always coming around. That's nice. Thank you, Aaron. Jennifer Roberts, Craig Ventura, Owen Earp, Like Wyatt, Lauren Hoosier and her Grim Karen mortician husband. Apparently, we made her Grim Karen mortician husband laugh, and I guess that's a difficult thing to do.
He's a mortician.
Yeah, they don't smile much.
Fuck yeah, we did it. Good job. Way to hang in there and look for the funny.
Thank you. May Lee Elliott, Liz Moy, Hannah Turley.
Never mind.
Say again. No, it's not.
You said May Lee. In my mind, I heard Hey Lee. I've been fucking Heyman Lee. I'm like, what? Right. Hey Lee, what? Too much fucking Adnan documentaries. Sorry, go ahead.
Hannah Turley, John Genova, Allison Morris, Tyga, Shornack. Yes. Rachel Stora, Owen Connolly, Justin Miller, Nicole Turner, CHD Accounting. That's Crystal Harris Dancer, CPA.
Oh, thank you.
It's tax season. Call up Crystal Harris Dancer
hit her up
at CHD Accounting. I believe that's .com. I think that was right. I didn't write the dot.
You just Google the accounting firm and they'll
find her. Yeah. Casey Pennington, Jesse Lortz, Andrea Samples. Happy birthday from Amy Fugate. Was Fugate a name of?
Fugate was the small town murderer last week.
I wonder if Amy's got some
Marvin
explaining
Fugate
to do.
Ooh.
Oh boy. Sarah Kula, TJ McCullum, Nick and Tala Alderman, Justine Hardigan, Norman Sather, Kristen B, Wade Cologne, probably. John
not Colon, I assume.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe.
Powell.
Like Bartolo Cologne, I feel like that's a cool way of saying it. Cologne.
Yeah. Z, no last name or name at all. John Kolinowski, Thomas Smith.
Sounds like a procedure.
It does.
I'm having a Kolinowski. I'm really scared, Jimmy. They gave me this weird shit to drink.
Hold your hand.
Sorry.
You're going to be shitting all day.
Yes, all day.
You know what my life is.
Yeah. And then the colon guy behind him. It's a fucking mess.
Michael Haven, Sylvia C., Aaron Nesseth, Adam Miller, Sarah Thaxton, Cassandra Scanlon, Zinyan Liu. So Zinyan Liu says her real name's Emily. I don't know which one it is.
Okay.
Whatever it is. Emily.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
And Janice Hill. Thank you guys so much.
You guys are the best, and
Truly.
We cannot tell you how much we appreciate this. And we love crime and sports and really want to keep crime and sports going for as long as possible. Yeah. We will dry up. Every last criminal athlete will get done if it gives us an excuse to do this show for a few more years.
Get an asshole sponge and just dip it in the pot.
We don't care, man. We'll find. I don't give a shit, man. I'll find chess players who have 2 DUIs and we'll talk about them for 2 hours just to keep this going in 2-3 years when it's over. So. That said, Jimmy, I want you to tell all these fine people where they might be able to reach you and ask you about all your Nazi tattoos. He doesn't have any Nazi
tattoos. You can find me at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. I appreciate you guys playing along, being along for the ride, and not having Nazi tattoos.
Yeah, thanks for that.
Where can they find you, James?
I am at Jimmie P is Funny. You can find me there. Just copy and paste my last name from the show description if you want to look me up somewhere else. Because you're not going to spell it right. So do that. With that said, guys, thank you for hanging out with us this week. Next week, back to the world of wrestling, which is, we know those are your favorites because we have the numbers.
Yeah.
And those are by far your favorites episodes, are the wrestling episodes.
Wrap this up. I need mouthwash.
So, Jimmy needs to wash his mouth out after laugh puking, which that's a rare thing.
I've never in my life done that.
No. So let's do this live from the Crime and Sports Studios. We will see you next week.
Bye.
It's important to feel safe at home. Simply Safe. If you like crime and sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
with a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.